Are we up? And are we running? Okay. There we go. Come on. Give me the live. Give me the live. There we are. Okay. There we go. Okay. Just going to put this off to the side. Okay. Anyways. Hey people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to the first episode of my new Let's Play, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, or the demo screen. Anyways, as I was saying, basically, just welcome to the first episode of my new Let's Play, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, or MH3U, as I'm going to be referring to it, because that's the shorthand term of it. Anyways, this Monster Hunter game stands out in particular for me because this was my first introduction to the series. So without further ado, let's get going. But first, let's see the intro. Let's see the demo. Yeah, well, the one time I want to see the demo, it doesn't want to appear. The demo will only appear when you don't want it to appear. This is training us for the desire sensor. When it comes to Monster Hunter games, you just can't help but want to watch the intros because. Okay, didn't realize it was not over yet. Dire Morales just right at the end of it, just tail end. You can't end this scene without me. But anyways, I've always loved the intros for Monster Hunter games. Just so cinematic, so majestic. They really do a great job of just showing off just how grandiose the world can be. So anyways, let's do a new game. I wonder how this is actually going to save. Watch how, when I go to save this game, it's going to basically save over my classic file. If that happens, I'm going to be pissed. Actually, I'm paranoid. Okay. You're seeing this right now. You're seeing this. Okay, so anyways. I'm kind of debating about how to do this character, because basically, I've just been on the fence about things. Because normally when I do a Monster Hunter game, I tend to base my characters off of, believe it or not, Groose from Skyward Sword. I'm dead serious. The big pompadour, the yellow eyes, just basically Groose. So anyways, yeah, let's first just go to the different clothing types. You know what? I'm kind of thinking about something. Yeah, can we get a spiky hair? Okay. Yeah, we're not getting any spiky hair. Yeah, originally I was debating about doing a cloud sort of thing. But it's just so many decisions, I can't decide. I need help. We're just gonna go crazy. We're gonna make this monster of a man. No, I'm leaning towards Type 16. Actually, no. We're gonna make this guy freaking anime man. He's gonna be edgy. He's gonna be anime. Which is edgier? That or that? I'm kind of thinking 5. Basically, I'm trying to make this guy just something that you would find, basically, and just basically a guy who could out-edge Sasuke. Actually, no, I have an even better idea. I have a better idea than that. Okay, I'm gonna go Sephiroth with this guy. Even though I am not gonna be using a longsword, we're doing this. Okay, I'm bring up the Sephiroth guide. Sephiroth parts it. Yeah, this is the closest to Sephiroth that we're gonna get. Yeah, just because Sephiroth doesn't do a clear around the forehead, so yeah, that would be the best for that. Okay, yeah, watch out, this is just gonna be the entire episode. Me going through the freaking character customizations. Okay. Features. Okay. No, we're gonna turn it off. Actually, now we're not going to go Sephiroth because basically nothing I'm going to do is going to be basically Sephiroth. Yeah, here I pull up the Sephiroth page. I don't even have a clue of what I'm doing with this. We're going to make him grizzled. Why does he even feature 1? Oh yeah, it's Scar. We're gonna, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make him. Yeah, we're gonna make him grizzled. He's grizzled. This is a grizzled man. He has seen things. Yeah, we'll go with that. Actually, no. Type 1. Type 1's the more grizzled. He has rope. Okay, there we go. Yeah, things are starting to come together. You have a healthy tan. He's been in the sun. Yeah, he has a really bad case of sunburn. Can we pick a random name? Ah! Archibald! Okay, we're just gonna name it. We're just gonna name it. Just shorten it to Archie. Okay, I would rather just not have that. No, we are not putting it on the gamepad. Yeah, just take away everything from the actual game itself. Yeah, make it a challenge mode for me because I am not playing this with the gamepad. I'm playing this with actually with a pro controller. So, we're gonna stick it to standard. Oh, phew. That was a close one. I'm not losing my classic file. He's picking a fight. Oh my gosh, I just realized I made Xenohort. I made freaking Xenohort. I made a grizzled version of Xenohort. Instead of pursuing the Heartless, he went out into the sun. He didn't spend time in the lab. I made Xenohort. I went from one Square Enix villain to another. Did the other just push that kid in, or yeah, you think, oh, the kid just fell in? No, he was pushed in. He was pushed in. It was deliberate. It was a show of dominance. Push him in the water. He's trying to assert himself with that big fish catch. If I could just imagine that dock being being Splinter's waiting to happen. just disappointed that I didn't name our guy Xenohort. Because he's Xenohort! I'm sorry I keep on reminiscing, but we created Xenohort! Morning, Hunter, you sleep well? If it's any comfort to you, Mocha Village hasn't seen 2 quakes in the same day yet, knock on wood. But let's back up. Welcome, welcome. I'm the chief of this here little community, and don't you forget it. You know, you saw that what I did to that kid in the intro cutscene. No, you think, oh, he fell in because of that fish. No, I pushed him in. He's been giving me the stink eye like he's trying to usurp me. But not today. Only my bum son's gonna get it when I die. And even then, that's questionable. Nature provides Mocha Village with everything we need. The woods and the sea of our castle. And it's a good one. The tower produced the shoddiest looking boardwalk. Yeah, basically take one step on that boardwalk, you get a splinter. I'm sorry if I'm reminiscing, but seriously, look at that boardwalk. It does not look tempered. It just, you take one wrong step, bang, you get a massive splinter in your toe, and you're just down for the count. That or just, even if you're not getting a splinter, it just feels really coarse. You ever just step on really coarse wood that has seen the elements? That is what I picture whenever I see Mocha Village. As the folks like to say, living here long enough builds sinew and character. But it's not all rainbows and sunshine. No, we got our fair share of turbulence. And you can take that literally. Anyways, funny thing is that normally when I play Monster Hunter games, I tend to just blast through text. I just tend to blast the text because I'm like, I want to play the game. I want to play the game. So when I'm doing a playthrough like this, it's kind of surreal because I'm actually reading the text. You ever heard of the Lagiacris? Or as I'll be saying it, Lagiacris several times over. I don't know how the official pronunciation for it is. You'll often see me not going in between Lagiacris or Lagiacris. It's a foul, pernicious sea monster that just decided to move into the neighborhood. With a tire like that thrashing about, our hunting fleet be lucky to escape alive, let alone bring in a good haul. At least we won't starve to death. All these blasted earthquakes will sink us first, see? That's our other problem. You felt those tremors. Who knows what's causing them, why they started, but the sea is riled up. That I guarantee. We'll need to sacrifice someone to the ocean. I'm thinking that cocky kid over to my right. Who's in favor of sacrificing him to the sea? Raise your hand and say aye. And everyone just unanimously votes for it. You get the Eustace Beige looking Smithy there. Seriously, this guy, that Smithy, he reminds me of Eustace Beige from Courage and the Cowardly Dog. Anyways, we're in over our heads. That's where you come in, kid. The way I see it, Mocha Village needs a hunter. Yes, the Lagiacris is mighty, too powerful for any human to tangle with. The way the villagers talk, bah! Strong is one thing, but invincible is something else. The Lagiacris may be big, but it's us eating rest. And when it sleeps, that's when we come in with the ether and the plastic bag and the noose. And one day, just like the rest of us, it has to die. Ha! If I was 30 years younger, I'd go clean this clock myself. But I'm only mortal too, so I'll leave the joy of taming that sea's deadliest foe to the younger generation. You! And only you! Screw the guild! We have a hunter here! Speaking of youngins, did you and my son get to talk? Suppose not. The quake yesterday hit before you had the chance. I don't see Junior around. Well, he couldn't have gotten far. Take a hike around the village. You'll find him. Oh, I almost forgot. Here's our initial payment. Hunter, it's not much, but it's enough to get you started. Okay. Anyways, before we talk to anyone else. Actually, you know what? No. We'll talk to people first. We're gonna be social. By the way, our village does a brisk of trade with the off Portanzia. Oh, you want to pay a visit aboard? Just hop aboard the ferry docked by the pier. Tanzia's quest will really test your mail, but trust me, the rewards are worth it. Ask the feline standing there for permission to come aboard. He's a capable little fella, so let him handle the nautical particulars. I'm sure the folks at the port will be happy to see a fresh face too. Swing on by whenever you get the chance to kill. The time to kill. So basically, what he was mentioning is that if you go over here, talk to Neko, means cats,
Salutations, Hunter! You stand before Oxy Captain's finest crewman. They call me Tiger of Far East. Neko. Neko means tiger, sorta. Neko performing important tasks like swapping our poop deck and lifting of boxes. Lift with your back, kid!
Seriously, I can never think of lifting boxes without thinking that one regular show episode where Rigby quit the park and started working for that guy whose company's policy was you gotta lift with your back, don't lift with your knees. And he just loved Rigby, even though Rigby was the least capable guy there.
Very important work, Yugo. Tiger must wear many stripes, you know. Now then. You meet August Captain yet. He and Neko have same masculine way of speaking. Wakaru. Also wears same style clothes. He's slow with coolness from afar, like Tiger Far East. August Captain trusts Neko with special Newman here in Mocha Village. Newman means assignment.
Yeah, Newman means get out my hair.
Neko not biggest of cheeses, so commodities and major trade goods still up to Captain. But Neko have quality important Nimu. Neko in charge of delivering goods to Portanzia. Julio. You stand before Ishiban of Mocha Tanzia Marine Network. Network of life-altering importance. You wanna go to Portanzia? Neko save you, Kushisi. Give you a lift, no problem. Nyani, please arise a ticket. Yeah, Tiger Far East no swindler. Thank you for free. You get locked in battleship. We pawn you off for 50 zenny. Mayhap and brought nuggets of tiger wisdom a long way. Tell ghost stories, make s'mores. But a belt catch fire. Too good anyways. Tanzia come in multiple flavors. First kind is solo port. This is for playing alone, very private. Like shutting bathroom door on Hunting Universe. Kinda shows how sad you are. You have no friends. No one loves you. But don't worry, Neko ambivalent towards ya. Next is multiport. Use this sport to invite friends to come play with you. Mess make good Naka, be good host. You get up to 400 in multiport. It's very busy, very like that. Wakaru, to become worldly like Neko, you must use all ports of the force. Shall we set sail?
So basically, Portanzia is online mode, basically. Like in any other Monster Hunter game, you have basically pure single player, which is the village, and then you have the online mode, which basically is multiplayer, but can also be done solo. So basically, just both of them are separate, so if you focus on Portanzia, basically, it's a lot more streamlined, it's pure questing, and basically, you can get some good gear, and you can actually get better gear than what you can get from doing purely Moga quests. Though on the plus side, in the village quests' favor, village quests are a lot slower pace, and they are a lot better for beginners. So as much as you want to jump, so as tempting as it is to just jump right into multiplayer, like with any Monster Hunter game, I always will encourage just if you're playing it for the first time, play village mode first. Basically, do everything you can in village mode and then go into online, because by the time you finish village mode, you'll have a pretty good grasp of the controls, and basically you can jump right into multiplayer with relative ease. Though the thing is, you jump into multiplayer after a good amount of time, you're going to have to start from the beginning of multiplayer. It's not like Monster Hunter Rise, where you could basically you did your hunt, where basically you were able to just progress the online mode and just, hey, here's a supplement quest, this will boost you right up through the ranks, get you where you are in the story. So anyways, you can go solo or you can go multiplayer. Since the Wii U no longer does online gameplay, my ports are ghost towns. So anyways, let's talk to you.
Hi, and welcome to Mocha Village. You must be the new hunter everyone's yakking about. Nice to meet you. I'm your liaison for the Hunters Guild. I shake your hand, but you probably crush it, you brute. Just kidding. So basically, the guild puts food on your plate by hooking you up with jobs we call quests. All you need is a guild liaison like yours truly, and in no time flat, work will pour in from all across the land. In theory. See, I heard you were coming and told them to have quests ready for you, and what did they say? Nothing! Zip nada! As you might have noticed on the trip over, Mocha Village is pretty far from what you call civilization. Maybe the guild forgot us. Maybe they fired me. Maybe I need to stop talking. Maybe I need to go on a job search site. Help me. I'm being told that I need 10 years experience for an entry-level position. Anyways, the quest counter is closed, so go and say hello to the village chief and his son for now. Get settled in.
So basically, she'll give us quests and we'll have a good time.
So you're the hunter. I've been hearing about you, eh? Got the look of one you do. Me? Why, I'm the greatest blacksmith alive. I've hammered out equipment around these parts. Swords I'll slice you in half with a touch. Bow guns you could hit a grain of rice with. Armor to repel giant wyverns. I'll make anything, provided you bring the materials. Gotta be equipped and proper before you go venturing in the woods. Excuse me, hunter person. If you want to get to Moga Woods, just cross this bridge. You can get back the same way, so try not to forget where the entrance is. We're supposed to ask permission before we go into the woods. Oh, but I'm not telling you what to do.
We have a sword and a shield. We could just bash you with the shield.
There's an army right here if you need equipment. I don't think you should go out there dressed like me. Oh, yeah. I have this saw I picked up. I heard a hunter was coming. You want to hear? We use it to sharpen blades. You're a lot nicer than I thought. My big brother said you snapped me like a twig, but you're all right.
Okay, anyways. One of the big differences between this game and Monster Hunter and basically future games from Gen 5 onwards, basically. This is very much smack dab in the middle of old school Monster Hunter, basically. This is Gen 3 in particular. So basically, there are a lot of key differences. First and foremost, whetstones. Whetstones are not an unlimited item in this game. You can hold up to 20, though thankfully, you won't require all 20, basically. Most hunts really aren't going to be that intensive, though. Just don't be spamming your whetstones like mad. Oh, you're that hunter folks are going on about. Well, I run the fishery here, and don't you forget it. You're lucky we didn't meet before. That last quake put me in a foul mood. I was up half the night cleaning up the mess. Not only that, but my boys in the hunting fleet were due home ages ago. They never take this long fishing. I'm sick with worry. If I didn't know they were made of steel and fire, I'd paddle out to see myself to rescue them. Anyways, you come back later, hon, once the fishery is back in business, alright? Basically, she is the shop from Mocha Village. She'll sell a lot of good items. Yeah, she shells by the seashore. Say that 3 times fast. So anyways, like with a lot of later... Okay, first we'll talk to you. Meow, meow, meow. Welcome back, boss. I am the steward of this chamber. So long as you are a Mocha Village guest, I shall protect your things. A word of advice. Hunters who do not save their progress risk losing fortune and glory from their exploits. Meowch. Do make a point to rest in bed and save your game on a routine basis. Spoils brought back from hunts, excess armor, and the like may be placed in the item box in the corner for safekeeping. The item box serves another purpose. It allows you to change your equipment. Yeah, I'm moving on. I've taken the liberty of placing a brimstone lamp in your item box. Please get your housewarming gift. I am always on the paw to assist with the arrangement of your furnishings as well. If you wish to watch a video you've seen before, just head to the gallery. Yeah, I keep it meticulously organized. I also help you stay on top of your DLC, downloadable content. Just connect to the internet to get your paws on quests and other DLC extras. It's kit displaying, yeah. I believe I covered everything. I look forward to serving you. I tie up the room for you, boss. Yeah, we'll place the lamp. Place the lamp. Okay, so anyways, just like in a lot of modern Monster Hunter games, basically, you go into the item box, and you have basically a choice of level 1s of all the different weapons. So basically, when it comes to weapons in the Monster Hunter series, there is no such thing as a bad weapon class. Every weapon class has its strengths and weaknesses. Basically, you have 2 basic groups of weapons. You have the Blade Master weapons. Basically, these are basically the classic close quarters combat. You basically get right up close to the monster, you fight them, they have sharpness, basically pretty straightforward in that regard. Though, then you also have the gunner class, basically. The gunner weapons, they are more long range, and while that may seem easier on paper, the thing is this, is that with gunner weapons, you have to manage ammo, and you also have to manage distance, basically. So, there's a lot more precision than basically, oh hey, get far from the monster and just fire. There is one exception in this game, which I will talk about at a later point in time. For those of you who have played this game, you know that exception, and you have probably used this exception, and you've probably had joy with this exception. But for the most part, when it comes to the long-range weapons, basically there's more precision to it, as opposed to the close-range weapons, which basically you just have to know the basic principles and mechanics behind each weapon. So anyways, I'll discuss those right now, basically. Starting off with the switch axe. The switch axe basically is a versatile weapon. Basically, it combines mobility with range, basically, where at first you start off with the axe portion, basically. The axe portion feels a little clunky, but it does have a pretty good rate of execution, basically. It's very sweeping. Basically, when you're using it, you're swinging the axe. It's kind of like an 8 when you're swinging it. But once you build up enough charge, you can switch it over to a sword mode. And with that sword mode, basically, it's even faster. It can be very satisfying to use. In fact, when I was playing 4th generation, switch axe was actually one of my secondary weapons of choice. Next, we have the lance, basically. The lance is a very defensive weapon, basically, where you're not really all that mobile, but you are second to none when it comes to blocking, basically. A monster's charging it, you block, poke it a little, block, poke it a little, charge it from a range, and all in all, while the weapon itself can feel a little underwhelming, it is a very good safe play weapon, especially if you put guard up as an armor skill. Likewise with the iron gun lance. The gun lance class as a whole, basically. The gun lance is very similar to the standard lance, though what it lacks in general speed, it more than makes up for with power, where basically you have shells, you can blast the shells off, you can basically do a mass discharge. I believe that was in this game, but I'm not 100% sure. I never really used lances or gun lances in this generation. Anyways, hunting horn. Actually, I'll talk about hunting horn in a bit. The longsword. The longsword is one of those classes that I've always felt has been a bit polarizing, where basically you either love longswords or you dislike them. Basically, longswords are very mobile. They have very good range. They can give the switch axe a run for their money. Basically, it's very fluid, where it's kind of like a dance in weapon form, where you're trying to just combo and build up your gauge, then basically you do an execution attack and you solidify the damage, and basically you build up the gauge even more, get more damage. Though, the thing is this, if you're doing solo play, and you're good with the longsword, it can be a blast to use. Though, if you're in multiplayer, basically, chances are you are going to be tripping people up. And when you're on the receiving end of a longsword's tripping animation, it can be irritating. Because you're in a good combo, and then all of a sudden, just bang, you're tripped down. So anyways, moving on. Next one, dual blades. Dual blades are the most mobile of the bunch when it comes to weapons, where basically they are of a very short range, but in exchange, you can just run around the arena like something out of an anime. You're just slashing up your enemies very quickly. They don't have very high damage on their own, but once you go into demon mode, basically, it'll start draining stamina. You'll be able to attack very quickly. You have increased strength. And then, once you build up enough in your demon gauge, you'll go into basically an even greater demon mode, where basically the effects will remain as long as you have meter in your blade gauge. So basically, you can just, with enough skill, you can basically spend the entire hunt, or at least most of the hunt, just running circles around the monster, just slashing the heck out of it. The one downside about dual blades, when compared to a lot of other weapon classes, is that they have a lot more cost to them. Because basically, the thing with the dual blades is that they are all about elemental damage. Elemental damage is the bread and butter for these things because they attack so quickly. Just that elemental damage really stacks up. So chances are, if you are going into dual blades, you are going to have one pair of dual blades for pretty much every element. So you're going to have around 5 or so dual blades, which involves having to build them, get the materials, get armor skill investments. So yeah, dual blades can be a very big investment, but they can be very fun to use. So anyways, moving on to the blunt weapons, basically. The Hunter's Horn. The Hunter's Horn is one of those weapons that just, at least from my personal experience, I never really see people using this weapon. Though I'm one to talk because I never really use it. But basically, when you're in a multiplayer situation, you see a Hunter Horn, you know you're going to be having a good time. Because the Hunting Horn is all about delivering damage while basically creating songs. Basically, each attack from a Hunter's Horn basically will create a note. Once you have 3 notes, you can then play a song, and then that song will basically translate to different effects. The effects vary from Hunting Horn to Hunting Horn, but those effects will spread to all of the hunters in the general vicinity. So basically, you can deal some very good damage. You can stun the monster by hitting their head, which basically causes stun damage, while also buffing your allies and yourself with boosts like attack up large, defense up, tremor resistance, earplugs, the beautiful, beautiful earplugs. And then we get to a weapon that I love, basically. I am going to be very biased with Hammer because Hammer is my main weapon of choice in most cases in Monster Hunter games. I love the Hammer because basically the Hammer, it has no guard options. I almost forgot to mention Sword and Shield. We'll mention that later. But anyways, the Hammer has no real blocking techniques. You have no way to block with it, unlike a lot of the other weapons where basically you have some sort of range to them, like the Switch Axe or the Longsword, where you can basically keep enemies at bay, and you can basically keep your distance from them. The dual blades, which basically allow you to just run around and just be very free, or the lances, the lances and the swords which have shields, and the ranged weapons which basically let you keep at a range. The Hammer and the Hunting Horn, basically they have no way of defending themselves. However, with the Hammer, and though unlike the Hunting Horn, which has a little more range to it than the Hammer is very close range. It's kind of like being a boxer. And like a boxer, you have to time your attacks very carefully with this thing. Because as a Hammer user, you're going for the head. Because that head is going to result in stuns. And where you're going to be doing your best damage. So you're going to be focusing all your attention on the head, which coincidentally enough is where a lot of monster attacks come from. So chances are you're going to be getting hit a lot if you don't have good timing, which I typically don't have good timing. But on the plus side, you have very good damage output. Very good damage output. You also can deal very good exhaust damage, which basically the Hammer is pretty much unrivaled with its rate of attack, which is much faster than the Hunting Horn. And on top of that, Hammer has a dash technique where basically you have your weapon drawn. Unlike the others where you're more or less walking around, Hammer you can actually run and you can build up a charge. Though it will cost stamina as you do it. So it's not something that you can basically just be willy-nilly with. Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield basically is a classic staple to the Monster Hunter series, and it is a jack-of-all-trades weapon where it's not going to really excel in any one particular point, where basically it has a good rate of attack, it can block, you can use items while your shield is drawn, which is a very big plus. You can use coatings to basically apply status ailments. So basically, it's a very good weapon if you want a sort of middle-of-the-road sort of feeling. And then finally, the weapon that we're going to be using, Iron Sword. Or rather, the Great Sword. The greatsword is very good for single player because while the greatsword does not attack fast, it is arguably the slowest in terms of overall attack rates. The greatsword makes up for that with insanely good damage output, where basically 1 or 2 fully charged hits from a greatsword will be equivalent to over a dozen hits from a standard weapon. So yeah, very nice, not to mention it has a makeshift block at the cost of sharpness. So anyways, you've seen the sharpness bar on all the Blade Master weapons. Basically, sharpness represents the damage multiplier, where basically just the better your sharpness, the more damage you're going to be doing. Basically, particularly in the grades, where you can see different grades, basically. At orange and red sharpness, you're going to be receiving negative damage. Basically, your damage is going to be reduced. Whereas when it's at yellow, it's going to be a 1.0 multiplier. So anyways, I'll talk about armor when we actually get it, but for the time being, we're just going to go in with basically our big-ass greatsword. Xenohort with his greatsword. Anyways, I'm sorry if I spent so long just rambling about weapons. It's just, when it comes to this game, it's good to know what you're getting into, because the thing is this: while you can switch freely between weapons, it's not like, oh hey, I picked one weapon, I've got to stick with it for the rest of the time. But the thing is this, is that weapons take time and investment in order to create basically good weapons. And you're going to be you'll be building your armor sets around your different weapons, because basically different weapons will benefit from different skills. Basically. So, for example, you have a hammer, you're not going to be using blocking skills, that would be a complete waste. So, typically what you'll have is just, you'll specialize in your one main weapon, and then you'll have a backup weapon on hand. Also, another reason why I wanted to pick greatsword over hammer is because hammer cannot cut tails, basically. Hammer can stun, but it can't cut. Same with hunting horn. So, basically, by having greatsword, we can cut tails, we can basically focus on getting more materials in a lot more of an efficient manner. So without further ado, let's get going.
Hey there, kid, can you hear me? You know, you really ought to meet my son, Junior. He should be at the camp. My ancestors have a saying, wherever you go, there you are. You see the map on the screen there? The red triangle shows where you are, and the white icon that looks like a little hut, that's the base camp. Use the map to find your way to the base camp.
Basically, this is going to explain the basic controls, which we can go over right now. So basically, with your weapon sheath, the controls are pretty consistent between all weapon classes. Basically, you move around with the stick. You can run by holding down the R button, but it will cost stamina. You can roll by pressing the B button, very nice. And you can interact with your environment by pressing the cutscene, by pressing the A button.
Before I forget, there's something I want to tell you about dashing.
He's just going to talk about dashing. I'm not going to read about his dash. So anyways, over here we have an object. Okay, perfect example. What we found right there is herbs. Herbs are the most basic of healing items. They're not going to restore much health, but at this point in the game, they're very good. One thing to note is that pretty much all materials that you can find in this game, they can be found out in the wild, basically. Different locations. If you want to see a specific item's description, just go into the menu. Anyways, one thing about Monster Hunter is this, is that don't be afraid to go out and start gathering if you feel like, oh hey, I don't want to buy from the store. In fact, a lot of items can only be attained through collecting and harvesting. Also, another thing to note is that unlike in modern Monster Hunter generations, where basically you have your hunter's pouch, basically, which is for just just items that you find out in the wild, so that way you can actually have space in your main inventory. In this game, your inventory is your inventory. That thing fills up, you have to dump something. So every inventory space counts. We're not going to talk about the panels. Basically, on the Wii U gamepad, there are panels that you can have. We don't really have to worry about that. The only one is locking on, which is through the right trigger. So anyways, you can't explore all of Moga Forest just yet.
Say, the monster you're looking at right now is an apanoth, a kind of herbivore, you know, a plant muncher. I bet Junior would appreciate some raw meat. Why not take some from the apanoth if you can? Go on, face the apanoth and attack before it skedaddles. That leafier can't hurt you much. Which reminds me, that green bar at the top of the screen is your health gauge. If it hits 0, you'll hit the ground and you'll get carded. Some cats will take you off and you'll be laughed at and you'll lose money. You sharp peek at your health gauge now and then while hunting. Alright, go to that vegan bruise, boss!
Anyways, every weapon will have a different combination of the X and A button while attacking. With Great Sword, hold down the X button.
Not that bad, kid. You reminded me of myself when I was your age. Of course, my stamina gauge was much longer. You can use your carving skill to hack items from the monsters you killed. You can carve more items from some monsters than others. My ancestors used every part of the monster. You should be able to carve raw meat from apanoth, among other items. Once you've gotten some raw meat, take it to that sub. My Junior just loves fresh apanoth steaks.
Yeah, as you can see, just one hit from our mighty greatsword, and those apanoth died. So anyway, since this is going to be our main sword, since this is going to be our main weapon class, I'm going to just show you how it works. Compared to other weapons, the greatsword is pretty simplistic. Where it's an easy weapon to pick up, but it's a hard weapon to master because it leaves you very vulnerable. Upon pressing the X button, you draw it. Once you see your character light up like that, you will know that, hey, that is when you launch. If you press the X button again, you'll do a little poke, and then if you pull back and press the X button, you can do an even stronger charge. This will deal more damage, but basically you're more open. If you press the A button, you'll do a swing. This swing can be comboed into the strong dash. If you press the X and A buttons at the same time, you will basically do a big overhead sweep. Perfect for hitting aerial enemies, but not the most reliable. If you hold for too long, boom, you don't do as much damage. 1, 2, 3. You'll hear that little ting. Yeah, you don't need to basically focus on perfect hits all the time. Yeah, I just need to practice a little myself. Yeah, if you hold for too long, you'll do a level 2 charge. Okay, so anyways, now that we got that meat, let's get going. Yeah, though when it comes to Greatsword, I'm only okay with it. I only actually really started getting into Greatsword in the old school games towards the end of Gen 4. Yeah, once Gen 5 hit, Greatsword just became a little too mobile for my tastes.
Nice work. Seems you reached the camp in one piece.
Oh yes, one piece against the mighty apanoths.
It just showered its warmer self because of all the earthquake damage. Well, if it ain't my son right in front of you, don't be shy. Go up and Junior say hi.
Anyways, I have a bit of a funny story. When I first picked up this game, I was playing it on an old LED TV. So suffice to say, things were not the most graphically sound. In fact, all the text was insanely small, so I didn't know what anyone was saying, which kind of led into me just having a tendency of just brushing off NPC dialogue in the Monster Hunter series. So anyways, I was going through this game pretty much completely blind until I actually configured my Wii U gamepad. I started playing with my Wii U gamepad. And just things were so much better because I could actually read the menus. Hey, you wonder? Glad you dropped by. The old man sent you for a tour of the Mogul Woods. Sorry we couldn't talk more yesterday. Not that natural disasters make for chit chat. Anyways, you probably know who's who by now. But I'm the chief's son. What I'm doing here, you might ask, standing alone among the rubble. You may think it's looting, but I call it collection. It's investment. Good question. Well, see, that is your base camp. Is. Okay, I'm still figuring that part out. I was on patrol, so I came by for a look-see. You're gonna need a hunting base, and this is where we left the tent and bow set. So, but that quake really did this place in. We need to fix it up before you can hunt from here. I'll head back to the village and get the ball rolling. But first, you got anything I could munch on? I'm so hungry. I could eat an apanoff. Got raw meat, cause I can barbecue like a champ. Meat plus BBQ equals BFF. Something about animal flesh gets my tummy all rumbly. Time for barbecue and chow down. You're alright, Hunter. We'll talk more about the base camp back in the village. I'll think of some way to thank you, Scout's honor. See you there. I'm not quite hungry enough to bite into a slab of disease, so I ought to cook this. You go ahead and return to the village. We'll talk more about the base camp back in the village after I'm done barbecuing. Yeah, so basically, when we start hunting, this is where we're actually going to be starting off. We won't be starting off back at the village. The only time you'll be starting off at the village is when you're doing free explorations. We'll talk about that later. Hey there, kid! Looks like you managed to deliver that meat to Junior. Good to see you can handle simple tasks. I think it's high time you head back to the village. Look at area 1 on the map. See the icon showing the village gate? Use the bridge past the gate to return to the village. Yeah, my leg is really itching right now. Fear me, Apanoths! 1. He hits me, but he perished. Yes, run off, little Apanoth. Tell the others. Tell the others of what you witnessed. For every atrocity needs a witness. Otherwise, it's not an atrocity. Anyways, one common trick in the Monster series. Crouch, and you'll actually carve a little faster. Very handy for hunts where you're just trying to get items very quickly. Anyways, over here is honey. Honey is your friend. Honey is used for so many vital recipes. I want snake bee larva. And let's see if we can get some blue mushrooms. Anyways, blue mushrooms. In this generation, blue mushrooms were very useful because they were used to craft potions. Yeah, unlike in 5th generation onwards, where potions are basically just, hey, here's herbs. Oh, and notice that success rate. Back in the day, your combinations had a chance of failing. And you get garbage. 2 pieces of garbage. Okay. So anyways, at least we at least got 1 mega potion out of it. Anyways, when you start to get tired, you will start to slow down, you'll get sluggish. Your stamina will drop a lot more frequently, will drop a lot faster when you're actually trying to run away from a monster. As you can see, we're slowing down. And then, once you run really low, once you stop, you'll basically have to take a little breather. This leaves you very open, very vulnerable, and not a good place to be when you're right in the middle of a hunt. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot one little tutorial. If you press the R button while holding the great sword, you will use it as a shield. As stated before, this makeshift shield will result in a loss of sharpness, but in a pinch, it is very much worthwhile because it's better to take some damage. It's better to just lose some sharpness and block a hit than to basically get a cart. And as you can see, unlike in later Monster Hunter games, you do not have a jump attack. It is very much a horizontal experience. And as a result, it's a lot slower pace.
You made it! Press the A button here and return to the village. Once you get back into Moga Village, speak with my son. Also, I'd like to give you something to thank you for your help. Come by and see me once you talk to Junior.
I'm actually going to use my normal voice for him. I'm very sorry about that, but I'm doing it to preserve my throat. I can't do old men voices for extended periods. Call me weak or whatever, but... What the heck was that? Okay, that was just the wind. The man has something to give, but yet he has nowhere to be... Oh, there you are. I heard you met Junior. How do you like him, kid? He's got back to the village not long ago. Say he needed your help with something, but let him give you the details. I have something to give you. Also gives us nothing. You are a liar, sir. Okay, thank you for that fishing advice. Hey, Hunter. Thanks for the meat. I get woozy if I don't eat every couple hours. I'm not burping. You and me, we're gonna get along. So, I just finished figuring out all the materials we'll need to fix up the base camp. We'll need to dig new latrines, rebuild the tent, cover the old latrines, de-louse the bed. We need serious resources. Sounds like you just need a shovel. Know what those are? You can increase our resources by hunting monsters in the Moga Woods or finding the right items. We villagers can't go very far into the woods. The monsters out there tend to love us. For dinner? Yeah. But a hunter like you could hike anywhere in those woods, no sweat. And you'd come back loaded with resources. Don't worry, we fixed the roads that got messed up by the quake. Go gather some resources in the woods, will you? But don't go stumbling around at night. What you can't see can hurt you in those woods. Best stick to daytime hunting for now. Oh, I almost forgot it. I have something for you. This is the barbecue spit. Made it myself. Use it to roast the raw meat you carve. Nothing beats outdoor cooking. The thing's a cinch to use. I'll give you some grilling tips next time you're in the woods. Oh, and go give a report to my boss, would you? He loves getting reports. So, go and speak your mind. So basically, we have 5,000 points. Guess the old man was right. You hunters really are something. We'll take it from here. Leave the fix to us. Our lives in the village are tied to resources. I'll calculate the resources for everything you hunt in the woods. Once in a while, I come across valuable commodities while I'm tallying up your spoils. Trust me, if we do find a commodity or two, I'll be sure to hand them over to you. Keep showing them carnivores who's boss, and you can expect lots of resources and commodities in your future. Remember, you have to report your kills after you've hunted in the woods. I'm the one that keeps track of this stuff. One last thing, our Wyverian artisan was for you. I hear he wants to talk to you about weapon upgrades. Go and see him in the anvil, will you? Old craftsmen like him deserve your respect. Alright, thanks, Hunter. Yo, I've been waiting for you, Hunter. The Wyverian artist was hoping to talk to you about weapon upgrades. Go and see him at the anvil, will you? Old craftsmen like him deserve respect. Wait a... Yeah. Spoil Cha-Cha's existence for us right now. How can Cha-Cha be a client? We don't even know Cha-Cha right now. Cha-Cha's not even in the village. So because we killed those Apanoth, we basically can just generate the resources. And let's go see what if you have to say something. Nope, you have nothing to say. If you don't see the dots, then they have nothing to say to you. You can just pass right on by.
Hey, it's you! Fine Diamond, kid! I got a wee favor to ask you! Kill my neighbor! He owes me 20 zenny, and I want revenge! if in your reckon that you're going to hunt in this here village, you'll need my help. And that ain't just me tooth and my horn. So I've been thinking, let's give that web of yours a little upgrade. So, you see what that's all about. Wipe that smile off your face. I ain't swing my hammer till you fetch me some basic materials first. Iron ore. Source your own equipment materials. That's the hunter's way. Prove to me you got what it takes. A good enough eye to locate a nice ore deposit. And the skill to mine it. Here, I'll give you my very own iron pickaxe. You give it a good swing for me when you find an ore deposit. Here?
Anyways, in this game, one of the big differences about old school versus new school hunting, basically. Gen 5 onward, you had it where your pickaxe and your bug nets were, you had one of each, they could not break. In old school Monster Hunter, those items could and would break. You can only bring 5 of each into a hunt. So basically, you ran out of bug nets, you ran out of pickaxes. Too bad, so sad, you had to go back. Okay, so anyways, weapons. You can forge or you can upgrade. Forging weapons, basically, any weapon that can be forged, you can forge it, basically. So let's go into Greatsword. As you can see, we have a bunch of different items. Now, you probably noticed the attack damage. You're like, ooh, 500, 300. And then you compare it to, say, something along the lines of dual blades, which is basically just, 98, 100 or so. The thing is, those attack values are not actually what the weapons are. It's actually much less. It's a bunch of math that I don't know, but all you need to know is that while higher attack is still better, it's not as clear-cut as you think. Not to mention it scales in regards to weapons. So as you can see, this rugged greatsword, this one actually has not only more damage to it, a bigger bar of yellow sharpness, so it's not going to be running out. So it's not going to be losing sharpness as quickly. But it also has green sharpness, which basically is a rank above yellow. And it has an item slot. We'll be going into item slots later, but for the time being, basically, this seems like a very good sword. However, we're actually going to be targeting the Bone Blade, because this is going to be basically just my path throughout this section of the game. And for that, we are going to need Monster Bone S and Jaggi Hide, both of which we can acquire from hunting Jaggis in the wild. Basically, Jaggis are minor grunt monsters, so no problem there. Now, upgrading weapons. Upgrading weapons, basically, a lot of weapons that you can upgrade, basically, they're upgraded forms you can also forge. However, upgrading is a lot more affordable than outright forging. If you forge a weapon, you will often not need rarer materials, and you'll be needing more of them. For example, we want that Iron Sword Plus. We're going to need 5 iron ore. However, okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing it there, so not a good example. But basically, so typically, if you have a weapon path that you are using, just go with upgrading. But if you want to shortcut it, just go for the forge option. Or forge because, well, you have no choice but to forge. So anyways, let's go out into the Moga Woods and get that iron ore. Now, iron ore is found in a select portion of the Moga Woods. Ha, so after iron ore, right? Glad I don't have to worry about that chore anymore. It's good to be the chief. The cave in Area 4 is a fine place to look for ore. Yes, as I was saying, it's very specific. You find the ore, you farm the ore. Now, over there, that is a Kelby. Come back, Mr. Kelby. Nice try, Mr. Kelby, but no dice. Oh, come on! I wanted a Kelby horn! Granted, we're really not going to need Kelby horns at this point in the game. Yeah, you're not going to need Kelby horns for the monsters that we're hunting soon enough. I mean, you need if you need basically the items from Kelby horns for the likes of a Jaggi, you're gonna be in for a rough road. Pardon my noisiness, kid, but you do have a pickaxe, right? You'll need one if you plan to do any mining. That skull of yours is thick, but not thick enough to chip rock. Hey, if there's a will, there's a way. We'll do it. The market in the village carries iron pickaxes, so stop by there and stock up if you run out. Okay, anyways, those are felines. They can often drop good items, such as paw print passes, which can be used to forge equipment. But we don't need to worry about that, not now. Anyways, despite how it looks, Mocha Woods is not actually fully open to us yet. Good. There should be some iron ore somewhere in this here cave. Check every cranny, and don't overlook the nooks. If you get lost, find your way out of the cave by heading in any direction you can see a dim patch of light. Basically, this is just teaching you how to use items. Hold down the L button, use A and Y to cycle through. Sorry. Anyways, this area isn't too bad. Once you reach a spot where you can mine for ore, you'll see a mining icon. If you have a pickaxe, you can mine by pressing the A button. Nice work, kid. Now all you gotta do is take that to the master blacksmith in the smithy. You can mine for ore wherever you see those large cracks in stone walls. You might also notice some big colored rocks on the ground you can mine. Spot a few and soon you'll see them everywhere. Anyways, now that you've done what you've set out to do, it's high time you head back for the village. Okay. We got what we needed, though. While we're out, we might as well go and just get some... Yeah, we might as well do some mining here while we're here. Okay, anyways, that is a Giggy right there. Basically, Giggy clings on to you, it'll start sucking your blood, and it will basically not be a fun experience. Giggys are a good source of velvet hides, so just remember that if you ever need velvet hides. So we're actually going to be going over here to get into Area 6, because Area 6 is where you can find some Jaggies. As you can see, just one slash of the Great Sword can easily wipe out Jaggies. As you can see, we are taking some chip damage here and there by fighting these guys. I believe it was 5 that we needed. But Jaggies are pretty easy to take down, so you don't need to really worry too much about them giving you trouble. Yeah, just absolute overkill on that Jaggi. Yeah, when it comes to the Greatsword, it's always a debate about what... Wait, was it hides or scales? I think it was actually hides that we had to look for. Anyways, one thing about Monster Hunter, and that any player can attest to, the desire sensor. It doesn't matter what you're doing and what you're trying to collect in the Monster Hunter series. It could be the most basic item or the rarest. It doesn't matter. Because the second you need something, you will not find it. You will only find what you want when you don't want it. For example, I'm just looking for Jaggi hides right now. And then look what's happening. Yeah, so a lot of Monster Hunter is very much just grindy. It can be just, hey, I need these parts to get my sword. But hey, appreciate moments like this where it's just basic monsters that you're going after. And you will get a lot of items that you don't want. Anyways, in regards to the barbecue spit, use it and you'll hear a little jingle. Anyways, press it too quickly, you'll get a rare steak. Just wait to see when it starts turning. Once it turns twice, you will basically get the so tasty and you'll get a well done steak. Cooked meat in this game will increase your stamina bar. Very nice to have. Very nice to get. Yeah, too bad you don't have wish lists in this game. Wish lists would be very nice. But hey, that's why they were added in. I could have sworn there were bone piles here. For goodness sake, there's a bone pile right here. Why can't we just get a few bones? I need my bones. So anyways, in regards to material grinding, I will be doing a lot of that off camera, where basically if I'm trying to get a piece of armor or I'm trying to get a weapon, instead of basically just spending stream after stream just hunting monsters and basically just getting no luck, I'll basically do it off camera. I'll get the materials, I'll get the weapon, and then basically we'll move on from there. Because if I was to include every last bit of grinding and farming, this would go on for a long time. To put things into perspective, my standard file for this game, where basically I'm doing quests, I was doing missions, it's around 400 hours. So yeah, we'd be having about 200 streams. Around 200 streams, if basically, unless I got really unlucky, which could be even longer. So with that said, in regards to the series, it is going to not be a full-on, oh hey, I'm doing every last mission. I have my goals, where basically my goals are to basically just progress through the ranks and hunt pretty much one of every monster. I'm not going to try to basically get every last thing in the game, and there are even some quests that I will skip out on, basically. One of those quests I have yet to beat to this day. I have tried basically building armor sets to basically do it, but yet it has proven too much for me. But I could have sworn there was a bone pile here. Okay, how much do we have? Burn Wyver Fang. 2 Jaggi Pelt. Yeah, sometimes it takes time for the monsters to spawn. When you're in free range exploration like this, you have unlimited time. So take advantage of it. Harvest items. And by the way, item patches will respawn over time. So if you just want to hang around, just wait, they'll come back and you can just keep on farming. It's good to recognize basically what each item spot looks like. For example, this right here is, okay, I am getting herbs mixed up. Yippee! Okay. Let's get some honey. Watch out, it is Jaggi hides that I need. If it is Jaggi hides that we need, then basically we'll be getting them soon enough. We don't need our next weapon right away. This is low rank. You don't need to really worry about basically just grinding things out massively at this point in the game. It's not one of those things where, oh hey, we're not at the point in the game where if you aren't optimized, then you're just absolutely screwed and you're going to get your ass handed to you. We're not at that point yet. That point will come, but it's not now. Okay. Yeah, when it comes to mushrooms, they are mainly used for ingredients. You're not going to have just the standalone mushroom. Okay, that should be good there. Anyways, over here we have bugs. Typically with bugs, they will break if you attack them just outright. However, if you attack them lightly like this, by pressing the plus button to kick, you'll do a little damage. Thought it would actually work. Thought it would actually just lightly kill. Okay, anyways, perfect timing. You see that symbol right there, right next to our name? That symbolizes defense down. Our defense has been halved, which is not exactly a pleasant thing to have, especially once you start entering later, once you start getting into later fights. Anyways, now we waited a little. Okay, we're going to do one little sweep. And then we're going to head right back to the village. Okay, we're all good there. As you probably, as you saw right there, our stamina gauge actually decreased. Your stamina gauge will decrease over time. Thankfully, your health gauge will remain constant. So you don't have to worry about that. Though, as far as your stamina is concerned, it can be pretty deadly if basically you let it get too low. Though it's deadly for other weapons than others, basically. For Greatsword, it's not that bad. It'll only really impact your roll. But for others like Hammer, it can be a death sentence. Because your charge is your main thing with your hammer, and even more so for dual blades. Though, when it comes to hunts, a lot of the time, oh, you're almost back to the village. My wise ancestors said the life of the village is tied to the land around it. They were right. As you explore, collect resources, and carve items, you'll find your life in Moga all the more enriched. You can even combine materials to make new hunting tools for yourself. A good hunter never stops exploring, my ancestors said. Heed their words and you'll never go wrong in Moga Woods. Now then, I wonder how that old blacksmith will like that iron ore you found. Ha! This ought to be good. Yeah, basically only the green Kelbies will drop horns. The blue ones will drop pelts. Okay. Yeah, you can usually tell herbs because they have that thistle-looking plant. Don't do this to me, game. There it is, there it is. See a plant like this? Chances are it's a herb. At this point in the game, herbs are going to be pretty much your primary healing item. That is until potions can be readily bought at the shop. Okay, let's head on back. Anyways, some items you'll find are account items. These are items that can't be brought back and used for later use, but they are just more or less there to just give you resource points.
Welcome to my smithy, eh? Was it now? You plan to bring me the iron ore, or what? You have to use your pickaxe to mine it now. And if the one I gave you breaks by now at the market, once you find the ore, you have to choose villager requests from my list here. I know you're good for it, Hunter.
Oh, sorry.
See, you earned a little lesson and upgrade. It's just as important as forging, believe you me. Upgrade is for when you want to enhance items or armor you already own. It's least cheaper than forging from scratch, so don't be afraid to upgrade your favorite equipment all you like. Oh, and have you checked your fancy hunting notes for the nifty grifty details?
Okay, let's see our upgrade. Or rather, our forge cost. Okay, no. Okay, we got the Jaggi hide. Now all we need are the monster bonuses. I'm actually going to store the barbecue spit. Okay. Come on, I'll talk to you.
Hunter, I want to give you something. It's a bug that I made myself. There are tons and tons of insects in the Wogga Woods. If you see any in the thickets, just swing at them with this. Some bugs will glow, and some can be used to make medicines. A lot of stuff, really. A hunter like you can figure it out. I made a bug net. Pretty good, I think. But if it breaks, you buy more at the village market. Have fun.
There you are! Sorry, hon, the boys are busy until things settle down. Though I have to say, where the heck are they? Are they fishing or just being fishy? Or am I going to have to throw them in the ocean? When they get back, you better believe I'm giving them an earful. I know how to scold you better than I know how to fish. We can't even use the shop. This is the shop. What am I talking about? Okay, basically, I'm not going to read this because it's basically just the standard, oh, hey, here's the item. You can buy items. So, yeah, you can buy herbs. You can buy antidote herbs. Basically, antidote herbs, they basically can be used to create antidotes, which are 100% guaranteed to cure poison. Whetstones. Whetstones are your pride and joy. These things will help you out when you basically need to sharpen your weapons. You have your pickaxes. Basically the old pickaxe. Basically all the pickaxes, they will basically yield the same item rarity. Though the thing is that the better old pickaxes are less durable than iron. Old bug nets are less durable than standard, so on and so forth. Worms basically can be used for fishing. Fishing up just different fishes. Fishing harpoon, basically you can use it to basically just get certain fishes. I don't really use it that often. Small and large barrels can be used to make barrel bombs. Personally, I have never been one for using barrel bombs. They're a lot more useful if you're using status weapons to put a monster to sleep, because if a monster's asleep, they'll take double damage. And basically, you hit them with a barrel bomb L, you deal a lot of damage. Plus, it's great for just breaking parts. As a hammer main, I don't really use bombs because basically, well, the hammer's pretty much the hammer. Trap tools, these are used to create traps. Though we don't really have the materials right now to create traps. You'll need traps in order to capture monsters, but even if you're not looking to capture a monster, they can be used to basically immobilize a lot of standard monsters. Field horns, basically, it can draw monsters towards you, not the most optimal thing. Binoculars lets you see things from a distance, used to combine with items. You can also buy a barbecue spit here. Though, as long as you keep the one that you have, you don't need to. These huskberries, as well as this ammo, file, power coating, these are all things that basically, these are for ranged weapons, basically. And as you can see, this is this is ammo for underwater, which we'll be dealing with later on. Coatings, these are for your bows. They can be used to basically inflict damage. For example, mark where a monster is on the map, cause exhaust damage, put an enemy to sleep, paralyze them, poison them, and basically just increases just using your bow at close range, basically hitting them with the arrow. We're not going to buy these guides just yet because money's a little scarce for us. Right now we're going to sell our insect husk. Though you can also get some good money, at least for this point in the game, by selling well done steaks. So anyways, let's talk to the chief. Now if it ain't a story to tell the grandkids. Of all the pieces of ore out there, you managed to find some the old smith liked. You see, kid, that's a sign. Proof that you're a cut above the average hunter. You got exceptional judgment. After all, why go out there and risk your neck if all you bring back is junk? Which is pretty much the motto of any Monster Hunter player, because basically we hoard everything. Even if it's not going to help us, we're going to hoard it because we don't know if it's going to help us. It could be valuable, but we'll hoard it because we may need it for an obscure recipe. Yep, I got a good feeling about you, kid. Wouldn't be surprised if you solved the earthquake mystery, too. Anyways, Hunter, we'll have the base up and running before you can say, Jumpin' Jaggi, Jumpin' Jaggi, where's my base? So you can just hang on tight. What? You'll get bored if you have to wait around for the repairs. You're more tenacious than a Kelby in heat. Alright, I got an idea. What separates the land monsters you've hunted so far from an aquatic mess like the Lagiacrus? Gigatons of water, that's what. If you're going to take a sea monster on, you have to literally get your feet wet. So let's go through Mogul Woods till you hit the shore. Dive in and try to hunt some fish. Start small, see? Junior's a real pro when it comes to swimming. I'll have him give you some tips. Head out as soon as you're ready. Hey, I could give Junior a run for his money. I'm the guy where I can spend 4 hours. I can spend 4 hours at a time in the ocean. Seriously, I can easily spend 4 hours in the ocean. Heyo, you went to see the artisan at the smithy. Took a shine to you, did he? Ha! Well, aren't you special? That old son of a gunner is usually pretty stubborn about accepting new folk. While you've been making jumps, we've been working hard. Yeah, you and your networking. What has that gotten you? Nothing. It got you the love of the respect of a crotchety old man no one likes. Meanwhile, me, I have been at boot to the ground. I have been on the front lines. I have actually been making a contribution to society, unlike you and your one pickaxe swing. The base camp repairs are coming right along, so sit tight. Oh, one other thing, the head farmer was looking for you. You meet him yet? He's another good old boy you'll want to see. The farm entrance is down to the right to the bridge of the woods. Anyways, let's get that report. And let's see what we got. Fish finder. Okay, we'll send to the item box. Curd Fang, we'll send that. We'll sell that for money. And Shroom Germ, we'll keep that. Yeah, what else? Oh, Hunter, I hear you're off to sea. How about a swimming lesson from old Junior Mimi? You swim in the... Okay, I'm going to basically talk about this later. Yeah, well, I'll be explaining this when we actually get into it. Because in my personal opinion, the best way to learn in the Monster series is to actually do it yourself. You see that? That's a shallow grave. That's the last person who failed me. Do you want to join him? Well, if it isn't the hunter everyone's fussing over, well, whoop-de-doo. Here's what I think of you. 4 coughs. You see this here farm, Hunter? It feeds all of Moga Village. Now, notice anything missing? That's right, farmhands. This place is normally crawling with farm and felines. Oh, yeah, and this and that, meow, meow, that. Well, that earthquake spooked them so bad, they hightailed it out here, lickety-split. Fraidy cats left me high and dry. This is why I don't pay them. This is why I shackled them to their beds at night. That's why the fields look like a pigsty. No offense, Sir Winks-a-lot. I'm stuck working here all by my lonesome. Except for that one guy over there, but I don't give a crap about him. This here's what's left of the old harvest. See that blue sheen? It means this is one healthy mushroom. You can't eat it on its own. My advice would be to combine it with something good. Go on, take it. And make something good. Here's a mushroom. Whatever you need farmed, I'll make sure it gets grown real good. Basically, farming. This is a nice mechanic. You know why? Because basically, you have material. You can farm it. Hey there, well, will you look at that? One of my farming felines grew a spine and has come back to work. Now we can get back to planting. Now I can hobble him. Now, don't judge me, I've hobbled him. I'm not going to let him run away again. The farm belongs to the village, but I can set aside some land for you, seeing as you're now protecting us and all. If you want to grow some plants or mushrooms, bring them here and we'll take care of them while you're off questing. It's a cinch. All you gotta do is pick up the plant you'd like us to raise. If you're at the port and you can't get back to the farm, just give your request to Neko and he'll pass them along to us. Tell you what, since you're busy and all, you can even ask us to grow several at the same plant in succession. While you're in the woods or on a quest, we can grow 1 plant. So order more and you don't have to come back as often. Keep bringing us your usual plants like herbs or blue mushrooms and we'll raise them for you. Least we can do. Oh, and go say hi to the feline who just came back. Best to not be rude to the folks who will help you out. That's my job. And if you can embolden more felines to get back to work, we'll be able to cultivate more crops at once. That'll help both you and us, Hunter. Working this place with so little help is doing a real number on my purists. Alright, time to get back to agriculturing. Okay, so basically, for the moment, we are level 1 field and shrooms, basically. So we can't exactly grow every kind of crop at the moment. We can only grow basics, like, say, blue mushrooms or excited shrooms. Now, blue mushrooms, I would say, are a very good thing to grow. Because basically, harder to gather, basically, where you can't buy them in the shops. So you can only get them by farming them or basically going out in the wilds and getting them. Basically, what he said was just every time you complete a quest or you complete an expedition in the wilds, you'll get 1 cycle complete. Now, the price of actually fulfilling these requests will vary based on item. The rarer the item, the more expensive it will be in terms of resources. You can cancel an order at any time, but basically you won't be but if you do cancel it midway, you won't be compensated.
Veggies, veggies, veggies! They're more the meals than meat. Yeah, during the health boom a while back, a lot of us feel inside to go organic. And that's when the Dark Age began. The chief and the chief's son, they descended upon us. They grabbed us by the tails and just swung us around over the heads and then threw us out. Our boss, he just laughed. He just sat back and just let it happen. So the Mocha Village farm is chemical and additive free. We use absolutely no Gigi extract pesticides ever. That's why our vegetables might not be the prettiest, but they're definitely the most tasty, yeah. Oh, about the earthquake, it scared me out so much I scampered away, but then I felt ashamed, so here I am, yeah. To prove that I'm a friend to you, I'll give you some of my greatest treasure. Here's a fresh sushi fish. Have the village chief's son, use it to generate resources, and we can make progress on the farm.
I'm not giving you a name. I'm not naming you, otherwise I'm naming you something like Clombo. No one wants to be named Clombo. You want to hear about swimming? So basically, this is a list of the different what different resources will give you. You go in, generate resources. Yeah, we can get 3 resources. Yeah, 3 resources. Ooh. Yeah, real big there.
Wait, what are they, huh? Wow, you're already back with the ore. You're a machine. What do they feed you? Speaking of machines, the guild machine seems to be all gummed up. You'll never guess what they sent me this time. Absolutely nothing. How do you know? I'm all fired up too. Oh, not that I'm doing hunting. I can't hunt for beans, but I can make a good cheerleader. Where are we talking? By the way, the chief was looking for you. Go see what's up, don't you?
We already talked to him. So anyways, let's out into the wilds. Hey, it's me, the chief's son. Listen, I just heard about that ore you mine. Not bad. Now then, have a look at your map. See that? The whole Mocha Woods is open. Good. You need to get out more. Now you can hike straight through the forest, all the way up to the sea. And that's good, because I like you to go out and hunt one of the mullets that swims around here. The mullets be good practice for hunting underwater, and I'll wager you could use the practice. Besides, it would make a great gift. It'd make a great gift for that gal in charge of finding your guild quests. Hey, you gotta help me out. I have no game. Now then, once you're ready, set out for the sea in Area 11. You gotta help me, man. I have no options. Oh, right. You actually need a blunt... Actually, wait. I could have sworn you needed a blunt weapon in order to get Kelby Horn. Okay, now I remember. I think I remember where you can find some bones. So yeah, we're gonna actually head over to Area 8. And plus, from Area 8, we can actually shortcut our way over to Area 11, as you can see that little line there. Or maybe the bones are here. I'll be honest with you, when it comes to this area of Mocha Woods, I haven't really focused on mining, mining bones. Dealing with some mucus right now. Combo list. This is a very hardy source of herbs. Okay, anyways, these sort of rocks are your best friend. You know why? Whetstones. Free whetstones. Hey, you could be spending 400 zenny for whetstones, which later on in the game, that's going to be chump change. And basically, it's better just get the whetstones from the shop than just going out and acquiring them in the wilds. But this way in the game, every zenny counts. And we need them for upgrades. Such grace, such majesty. Look at this. Come on. Yeah, that's the thing about little monsters like Jaggies, where basically the hitboxes can be a little weird with them. Aha, here we go. Okay, at least we can get paralyzed. Mystery Bone. Bone, come on, where's Monster Bone S? Monster Bone S, come on! Okay, well anyways, let's just head up. I think Great Jaggies may also drop Monster Bone S's. See that fish with the long flat body? Can't miss it, right? That's a mullet. You're querying for this hunt. Luckily for you, it's not a fast swimmer. Just get up close and take it down. So you're on your target with the camera and attack. Remember, this one technique and you will make quick progress. You can weaken fish with your weapons, but I suggest using a fishing harpoon. Then you can guard materials from them. Right? Let the marine warfare begin. Okay, anyways. Yeah, don't even let me talk. You ready to get your feet wet? Next up, let me instruct you in the Mogar swimming. Too bad, you can't even do the tutorials, CzarThwomp. You haven't eaten in the last hour, eh? No matter. Point that camera in the direction you want to swim, then move. You know what? I'm just gonna explain it. So basically, underwater, you have an oxygen gauge that runs out. You basically cart. So try to stay near the surface if you're running low on air. While underwater, use the camera to point the stick in the camera in the direction you want to swim. You can swim back, you can swim forward to the side. You can do a barrel roll by pressing the B button. And your weapon attacks are pretty much the same underwater, though there will be some slight differences. Yes, I have already mentioned the oxygen gauge, Junior. Yeah, though thankfully the oxygen gauge is very generous. Okay, we got our harpoon. How did I miss? It's a freaking sunfish! Okay, so basically, he just described the return to village option. Nice shortcut to get back to the village. Just one poke and bam, it's already dead. Stare into the lifeless eye of that sunfish. I think Area 12 will yield Monster Bone S's. But we don't need an upgrade right this moment. Anyways, you see an oddly colored stone like that? Chances are it's gonna have some good materials. Aqua Glow Jewel, that is going to be very nice for later on. Bone. And it's not Monster Hunter until you're getting swarmed by a bunch of little monsters. Okay, return to village. Nice work with the mullet hunting. You take to swimming like you have gills, but don't forget what you learned. Once I nearly forgot, I hear the sweetheart from the guild has a message for you. Better go see if you haven't yet. Anyways, the Mocha forecast. This will tell you about any large monsters that you can potentially see. So if you're looking for a specific monster, and you're having a hard time, so basically, let me backtrack. If you're having a hard time hunting a monster, but you need their materials, then the Mocha expeditions are perfect for you because you can faint as many times as you want, and you can just get right back into it. Okay, send that back. Send and send. Okay, we don't have any of the materials there. Telling us about... They are telling us about monsters that we are not even close to hunting yet.
Hey, Hunter, you seem to be doing pretty well for yourself, eh? Now you're working for the Hunters Guild. That ought to heat things up for you, huh? Anyways, I thought I'd give you a little something. You did bring me all that fine ore after all. This here's an armor sphere. Normally, you get these treasures from mining. I can use them to upgrade your armor. Go ahead and have a look at my menu. Armor craft and upgrade armor. Got that? And don't forget to flip through your hunter's notes for the details. Go on, take it.
Okay, by the way, you saw that jewel that we got. That is an Aqua Glow jewel, which can be used in a lot of different decorations. Basically, decorations take advantage of slots, and they add skill points. Now, unlike in 5th generation onwards, where basically you get 1 point in a skill, the skill becomes active. In basically the old school games, armor worked in that each piece would give you a certain number of skill points. Once you got 10, the skill was unlocked. Likewise, you would have negative armor skills that you would basically try to avoid. Yeah, though right now we're not really going to be investing in our skills because basically you don't really need skills to get through this part of the game. Well, look who's back. How'd that swimming go? Are you one with the fishes now? I know it's tricky, especially if you're used to hunting on level ground. In that water, you have to maneuver up and down. At least you got a good set of lungs, kid, so I hear. Don't let a little water scare you off. Now, the moment you've been waiting for, the part where I pay you. I had to scrape the bottom of the pokey bank for this one, so that's it. From now on, you gotta earn your own keep.
Hey, it's my favorite hunter. Guess who got into contact with me? Yep, I finally heard from the Hunters Guild. Hooray! And where I put this piece of paper? Ah, here it is. Your very first quest. Completing it will cause both of your skill and your reputation to skyrocket. In theory. The only quest I've got for you so far is to collect a bunch of mushrooms. Yeah, you don't think is it possible? Do they not trust us at all? Oh well, gripey, sure. Let's just show them that we can get the job done, and by we I mean you. FYI, if when you're on a guild quest, you can't get back to the village the usual way. You have to return to base camp. Also, you're not allowed back into your house once you go on a quest. If you want in, you'll talk to me and cancel the quest. Follow that? Then get yourself signed up for the quest and head down the bridge to the left to depart.
So basically, you have different stars of quests. We can't access quests that we don't have access to. So anyways, for this one, yes, for these quests, you actually had to pay money back in the day. But you also get a bigger reward. So anyways, deliver 3 unique mushrooms. For harvest quests like this, you'll see a little green icon. Each quest is a different icon type. Okay, so basically she's just saying, oh, we got new items. I'm not gonna read it for you. You're the shopkeep. You're not a major character. You don't even have a name. You're just gal with the goods. In fact, you're just a recycled sprite. Okay. So as you can see, this is the base camp.
Okay, now it's my turn to shine, and I finally get a sprite box. I'm Mocha Quest Village Resident X Run Quest. Now that the camp is back on its feet, there's no better time to be a hunter. It's a catastrophe-proof industry. This camp serves as both the departure point and the end goal for your quests. Now, this camp is equipped with 3 things to help you in your quests. What could these things be, you ask? Actually, please ask. Please! I'll just tell you. The red box, the blue box, and the bed. Now, practice your hunting, Hunter. Have a look around and see if you can find all 3 of these exclusive, elusive wonders.
Okay, basically, the blue box.
You found that's a blue box. See, before you is there's a supply box. It contains supply items courtesy of the guild to help you complete your quests. You have to forfeit many of the supply items when the quest is over, so don't get overly attached to them. Why not press the A button and see what's inside?
So basically, you can get a map. And as you can see, our pouch is full. We're going to get rid of that insect hide. So that way we can collect paintballs. Paintballs are very handy because basically you hit a monster with them, you can track their position. Very nice. We're not going to really need rations or first aid meds during this quest because, well, it's just a gathering quest. Anyways, first aid meds. These are like potions except they are temporary. You basically have to give them up at the end of the quest. So use these first before you use your actual potions. Rations, these are basically just, these are essentially like the steaks that you can roast up. Just one ration will recover about 25% of your gauge. Very great to have. Like with the first aid meds, you'll lose them once you leave the quest. So basically, use them before any items in your inventory. Likewise, make whetstones. They are just regular whetstones.
Oh, you're good. That bread box delivery box. When quests require you to deliver items, like this quest does, this box will come in handy. When you have items you were asked to deliver, bring them to the delivery box. See how much sense it all makes? For this quest, you need to deliver unique mushrooms. Let's see here. Yep, it's a bed. Your furniture stalking skills are without equal, Hunter. Sleeping in this bed will restore your health, cure you if you're poisoned, you'll wake up as new. You can rest in the bed as many times as you want during quests. Hunting is hard work. You'll need plenty of sleep.
Basically, the bed is a great way if you want to preserve items, basically. Go to your bed, you heal up. Very nice. During quests, as you can see, we will succeed if we deliver 3 unique mushrooms, but we will fail if basically we run out of time. This takes longer than 50 minutes, or the reward hits 0. That basically means that if every time you faint, you'll lose a third of your reward money. And then basically after your third faint, you're out. 3 strikes, you're out.
Oh, you know, I almost forgot to tell you about another key feature. You see the clock in the upper left-hand corner?
Yeah, I'm basically just gonna keep going. Because all she's saying is, oh, hey, look for the clock. Look for the clock. So anyways, in regards to unique mushrooms, these are different than your standard mushrooms because basically they're not going to grow in the same sort of patch. That there will not yield unique mushrooms, or it will be a rarer chance. We'll check that out last. Okay, what are we going to swap it for? Yeah, you know what? We're going to swap it for... This right here is why you gotta be careful. Fishing harpoon. Yeah, I thought we had more space in the area. Okay. Let's grab some more honey while we're here. I'm feeling weirdly heated all of a sudden. We are not going to use snake bee larvae. Okay, we're going to actually save that honey for later. Okay, so in regards to unique mushrooms, I know that it's... Ah, yes, right here. I believe that this patch right here will yield unique mushrooms. Or it will not.
Yes, that's one! That's what they call a unique mushroom. Not a fan myself, frankly. Friend fungi freak me out. If you'd like to have another look at the quest information, check out the quest info from the game menu. There you can check the completion requirements and other basic info about the quest.
Okay, we'll get rid of that big fin. There we go. Okay, where is it? Where is it? Unique mushroom. There we are. Oh, anyways, I forgot to mention. You actually start off with a very good set of armor. Basically, leather armor will give you... is basically designed around... basically just... is based around collection. You gather fast, you gather more. Very nice. So basically, even later on in the game, this sort of armor can come in very handy. So for the time being, let's just get out of here.
Excellent, fantastic, wonderful, you completed the quest! Next, you'll receive your reward, and then it's back to the village. I'll report your results to the guild, and they should pass on new quests for you. Good hunters are never unemployed. As you advance, you'll come across more quests that involve hunting monsters, so you should upgrade your gear as you go.
And for your rewards, you get a bunch of different items, basically. We're going to just take all these items. We're definitely going to be taking that honey. Paint berries can be used to create paint bombs. And we'll take that ivy. 500 zenny richer. And we're going to save our progress. First things first, let's actually return. For monster carves, you'll typically want to put them in the pouch along with your various ores, because you're not going to be using them other than basically collecting them. Put this back. Put you in. Future alpha male. How much you want to bet that this is the kid that was pushed into the ocean or in the intro cutscene?
My little brother and I are having a fishing contest, but he is a beta and I am an alpha, so I am the clear winner. The first one to get to legendary golden fish is the winner. All I have to do is mix my special firefly bait with something, and then I'll have the best bait ever. Hey, I caught too many mega fishing flies. You want it? Here you go.
I don't want it. I don't want to do fishing. I don't do fishing. What the heck's going on here? Okay, I'm a little nervous here. I'm a little nervous. Why is it dark? Why was it dark there for a second on my side? This is what happens when you use a smartphone to look things up. Okay, so anyways, for the time being, we're just on quest duty.
Great job with the mushroom hunting. What did you think of the guild rules? Annoying much?
Not really. Oh yes, God forbid you don't get 3 mushrooms in 50 minutes. Frankly, as nice as it is to go at a slower pace, in fact, the game encourages you to take quests nice and slowly. Once you've been at a quest for 40 minutes, it starts to drive you batty.
I know. Hunters all over the world struggle to fill strict requests while both monsters and rules work against them. That slowly approaching time limit, you collapse 3 measly times and you're deemed too weak. Cruel, I know.
Yeah, frankly, the whole 3 card system, that is basically the biggest drawback.
The thing is, the whole reason people look up to hunters is because you're supposed to be able to take whatever they throw at you.
Yes, but it's artificial. Especially when when they're basically like, oh, you fainted against this massive elder dragon that can basically ravage the land, basically that can crush entire continents. You faint 3 times, like, oh, you're not good enough.
Oh, would you look at that? It's time to post a new quest. We got a bunch of new jobs for you this time. You can do them in whatever order you like. But if it were up to me, I'd do the Jaggi hunt. But don't get cocky. Bring plenty of potions, wet zones, and ammo if you use a bowgun. You can also do the monster guts one. It's mostly underwater, so you could go to the beach. Work on your tan. All quests are special in their own way. Make sure to prep before you go, and you won't have any problems. Good luck.
Okay, Slave 5 Jaggia. An ordinary herd of Jaggi has been ravaging my farm. The varmints come tearing through and eat up everything, roots and all. If you could head on out there and snuff them out of their own turf, I'd be much obliged. I think this is where we're going to get our monster bones. Honestly, we're not going to need potions for this. We're just going to go to Area 6 and then basically just hunt. First, Yeah, another thing, if you're used to the more modern Monster Hunter games, one thing you'll notice is that you will not see damage indicators. Oh, thank you! A Monster Hunter Bone S at long last! So basically, the only way you know you're hitting a monster in this game is when you see the blood. See the blood, you know you're doing something right. And there you go. The beauty of basically trying to carve a monster only for the little monster to basically try to fight you, thinking that it's going to stand a chance against you. I thought that Jaggi was going to take longer to defeat. Okay, there we go. Okay, got our Monster Bone S, so we're all good there. We'll actually be able to get our first real sword. Anyways, with Great Sword, don't be afraid to run around. If you feel like you didn't get the best angle, just move away and try again. When it comes to Great Sword, one of your main bread and butter is just going to be the draw and run. Yeah, bring it on. Yeah, don't feel discouraged if you're getting hit a bunch of times. One thing to note is that monsters will despawn if you basically leave them dead. If you leave their dead basically unattended. If I had my hammer, basically I would just be rushing right in and just absolutely smacking the goober juice out of them. What goober juice? What the frick is a goober juice? Okay. Anyways, let's get back to the base and heal up. Yeah, we should spot another Jaggi sometime soon. Yeah, I'll go get one of those mini whetstones so that way we can preserve our supply. Honestly, we don't need to be just mad hunting honey right now. Well, it is good to have honey. You know what? I'll grab some honey. Yeah, the one thing is that when it comes to Monster Hunter, it's one of those games where your strategies in the early game are going to be very different from your strategies in the later game, in the late game. Because in the early game, you are going to basically be a lot frailer, you're going to have a lot weaker weapons, and you're going to be dealing with just a lot less interesting monsters. So basically, you are going to be taking things a little slower. You're going to be basically just more hit and run. You're going to be a lot more frugal with your resources. Because it's not like end of the game where you're getting quests that give you, say, 25,000 zenny per run. Okay, but anyways, let's see if we can get some more Jaggies. Some more Jaggia. Yeah, that's the thing with quests like this. Sometimes you get where the monsters just don't want to cooperate with you, which leave you really wanting for more, where you basically just have one Jaggia that you have to hunt. Just one. There it is. There she is. Also, notice how a level 0 charge is different from a level 1. There is a big damage jump. Level 0 charge, which is just this, that will it took 2 hits to kill a Jaggia with it. Meanwhile, a level 1, which is basically just letting that thing just glow a little, that did a whole lot more. 2. 1. Okay. You just gotta wait for that little thing. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Chances are we'll get some small bones. Okay, no we did not, but hey, I'll take that. I'm not going to take that Felvine. Normally I'd be selling items from Jaggia and Jaggies, but at this point in the game, everything counts. Yeah, we'll save the game, because why not? Okay, so now that we have our items, let's go and forge our first weapon. We're going to get the Bone Blade. Yeah, basically the Bone Blade's a little stronger than the standard Iron Sword. As you can see, it also has a little more sharpness to it. So anyways, let's upgrade this thing. First off, we'll sort. Just put our great swords together. We're going to need some more Monster Bone S's to get our Bone Blade Plus. So we'll keep on the lookout for those. Yeah, we can sell that insect tusk, though we can it's just as good to throw it out. As you can see, monster parts can be a very good source of money. Okay, let's go in. I just want to make sure I don't have the wrong item. That does look like a pretty cool sword, I have to admit. Okay. Okay, guts. So basically, not all quests are mandatory. You see this full-on list and you're thinking, oh, I gotta do them all. I have to go find 8 red coral stones. I have to deliver 3 golden fish. 2 Kelby horns. If you actually have the 2 Kelby horns in your inventory, or the golden fish, then basically you can just instantly complete the quest. I think golden fish are pretty much I'm not sure if golden fish are something you can store. Honestly, I never really paid that much attention. But as for the Kelby horns, you can complete this one instantly if you have it. But these quests are optional. This is a mandatory one, though. Basically, in the wonderful world of Monster Hunter, basically, you have what are known as key quests. Key quests are the quests that you are required to complete in order to progress to the next star, in order to progress to the next tier of quests. All the others are just purely optional. They get you money, they get you experience, and they get you bragging rights. So, let's go and complete this one, delivering the monster guts. Yeah, we'll go and search out some more Monster Hunter, some more monster bones. Yes, hello there, Quios, if that's how I pronounce it. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Yeah, just having some fun with Monster Hunter MH3U.
Hi again. You know, I just live for my job, so I figured I'd pop in to give you a little more advice. Lucky you. Once a quest is started, your immediate to-do list should include 2 items. 1, check your quest time limit.
Check your quest time limit. There are only 2 different quest time limits. There's 50 minutes and 30 minutes. And 9 out of 10 times, it's the 50.
Take items in the supply box. Stick to these 2 simple rules and you'll enjoy a long career of happy hunting. Good luck.
Frankly, I'm surprised that they don't emphasize the whole 3 cart limit more, because that's what you're going to really be worrying about, not the 50-minute time limit, because frankly, even if you have a lower tier weapon, chances are you will be completing the quest within about 30 minutes or so. Okay, anyways, I want to just take this just in case, because this is a bit of an event quest. Okay, anyways, mini oxygen supply. Very handy to have, because when you're underwater, if you see bubbles, swim over the bubbles, you'll restore your air meter, which basically will just fill it right up back to the top. Think Sonic / Ty the Tasmanian Tiger logic. Though, if you can't find bubbles, or you're right in the middle of the hunts, take that oxygen pack, and then bang, you're all good. So anyways, if you swim here, you actually get a nice little shortcut that will take you straight over to Area 9. Anyways, these are mealinxes. They are not nice to deal with. You know why? Because they steal your items, and if they run away, they take it to some hoarding space that you have to go to, and then you get the items, and it can just be a pain to get there. Yeah, same here. This was actually my first ever foray into the Monster Hunter world. So anyways, with this one, we're going to want to go to Area 11, which basically is one of the main aquatic areas for Mocha Woods. Along with this one, as you can see, just swim to the bubbles, and you'll just get a full-on restore. Pretty much every underwater area in this game is going to have at least one bubble source, though some are easier to find than others. Especially one in particular that you experience later on in the game, where just you are fighting a lot of dangerous underwater enemies, specifically 3. Technically 2, since one of them is more of an event is more of a cinematic monster. And there he is, the Logia-Chris. Basically, this Logia-Chris is invincible. You think, oh hey, I'll fight the Logia-Chris now. I have the skill, I have the grit. You fight that Logia-Chris now, you are not going to win. Literally, you cannot beat that Logia-Chris. You can break its parts, but it will never be weak enough to capture. Because basically the developers, for plot reasons, locked in the maximum amount of damage that you can deal to that Logia-Chris. You cannot beat it.
Oh no! Good Hunter, this is terrible! That creature you see before you is the Logia-Chris, the sea monster that has been tormenting our poor village. What terrible timing. Relax. I must relax. Breathe. Okay, phew. Now get out of there as quickly as you can. If you insist on acquiring the quest items, please pick an area where the Logia-Chris is nowhere to be seen. Don't be reckless. You're no match for that creature right now. Live on to another day.
Okay, so basically, a big monster catches you like that. They're going to chase you. They are going to try to kill you. Thankfully, this is not Monster Hunter World. This is not Monster Hunter Rise. This is definitely not Monster Hunter Wilds. You don't have to worry about basically monsters just freely chasing you. basically, because each area is subdivided into its own little arena. Basically, just if you feel like you're in danger with a big monster, just run over to the next area. That monster will be unable to hurt you unless they decide to just somehow migrate there as well, which can definitely happen. So you can use that as a good opportunity to heal. In fact, basically, the Log Chris is already gone. I don't know where it could have gone. So anyways, with these guys, you don't have to worry about just hunting them like those fish. Okay, speak of the devil. Hello? Okay, so anyways, with monsters like the Logiacris, it will have a roar. That roar will stun you. Depending on the size of the monster, the roar will vary in volume. If you get a skill known as earplugs, you will basically be able to negate small monsters' roars, basically. Just a lot of standard tier monsters. Then you have high-grade earplugs, which will block out larger monsters, basically any monster that roars. It could be the biggest monster in the world. It could just absolutely have a decibel that could shatter your bones, but hey, you got good enough earplugs, you're all good. It doesn't matter if it's a frequency or decibel that stops your heart. Okay, so anyways, I think that we have enough West info. We have just find 3. Okay, Monster Guts 2. Yeah, thankfully these guys will be just around just in this area as well as the next. So unless the Logiacris decides to just come over here for a little play date, we don't have to worry too much. Okay, for a second I thought that was a Logiacris. Okay, nice. We can actually get monster bones out of this. So in that case, you're dying. I'm sorry. I want to get my monster bones now. Save some time. But now that I know that this thing can drop monster bones, it will not want to drop monster bones. It's the desire sensor. The desire sensor, basically every Monster Hunter fan knows about the desire sensor. It basically is one of the most steadfast things in the series. While things like, okay, Logiacris has seen us. If we faint, okay, good, got the bones. Okay, thankfully we're out of range of the roar. Oh, by the way, the Logiacris is not limited to the water. That Logiacris wants to come out of the water, it will come out of the water. Granted, the Logiacris isn't as dangerous outside the water as it is in, but it can still wreck you. Anyways, if you're running away from the monster and you roll, you will instead do the Superman dive. The Superman dive is a very helpful maneuver because you are completely immune to damage while it's happening. However, once you get off the ground, the second you get up off the ground, you are vulnerable. So while it can be a lifesaver, if the monster is close up to you or is just doing a rapid fire attack, then chances are going to still get hit. But hey, this is sometimes the best way to deal with certain attacks. Unfortunately, when you're underwater, you don't have the Superman dive at your disposal. So you're going to have to be a little more careful when underwater. Thankfully, the game is relatively fair when it comes to purely underwater monsters, in that they tend to be a little bit more sluggish, with a couple of exceptions, of course. Though those exceptions, well, they're for monsters that have been always, well, kind of finicky to deal with. Monsters that have managed to garner their reputation over many years, even before this game. Okay, now that we have those bones, we can actually upgrade our sword even more to the next level. Yeah, and another little subtlety. Back in the days before Gen 5, you had to actually stand, you were completely motionless while you were healing. You had to do the Superman flex every time you drank your potion. Which, basically for me, I have never really minded. In fact, I kind of like it better than how they've handled it in Gen 5 onwards. Where, in those games, if you roll while the healing process is occurring, you essentially lose out on health. So, at least with this system, while you are less mobile and you have to be a little more careful while you're healing, you at least get the full effect of your heals. Ah, so you finally saw the son of gun, the Azure Lightning, the Lord of the Seas, the stinky Sea Devil. Frankly, that should have been the Lawgiver's official name, the Stinky Sea Devil. Okay, I made that last one up, but you saw it, right? The Lawgiver. So, what's the word hunter? You think you can take it? You don't have to answer. I don't expect you to run off and slay the beast right now. To be honest, I'm just happy you made it back in one piece, kid. I forgot to size you up for a casket before you left. Just ribbing ya. It's been a good day. Both you and the men of the hunting fleet are now home safe and sound. We lost 2 of the 3 boats, but so what? Boats can be replaced, but not lives. Hear that, sailors? Be careful. Ah, we live on the seas, and for the sea. Salt water courses through our veins. We are the 3, the proud, the hunting fleet. Our mission is fishing. Bring in the sea's bounty to the village. I'm talking pin tuna so fresh, it's still twitching. But common sea monsters are our greatest foes. It's our job to drive off creatures that might harm the village. Wait a minute. You're that hunter that showed up recently, aren't you? You look pretty tough for a landlubber. If only the 3 of us in the hunting fleet could return to our former glory, we'd show you hunters who's the best. Alas, 2 of our 3 boats were splintered stem to stern when the Lawgiver's attacked. For now, only my boat is in any shape to leave port. We're not going to let that stop us from fishing, though. You listen here. If all 3 of our boats were seaworthy, we'd have 3 times as we'd be 3 times as tough as you, right? Right? Let me cipher this out. 3 of us, 1 of you, -2. Carry the 9. Yes, my cipherings is flawless. Anyways, if you want to make a fishing request, go to the fishmongeress over there. She's more fearsome than the Lawgiver when she gets angry, so you better show your tough hunter attitude. In that case, we'll fight her. We'll take her on. My word, can you believe this nonsense? It's not one thing, of course, it's got to be something else. What happened to the days when current events were just about the current? Now we got laggy whatever giving us grief. Well, at least we managed to salvage 1 of our boats, and more importantly, our boys' lives. We'll fish again! Which reminds me, since you're part of the village owl, aren't you curious about the fishing fleet? Yeah, we'll go through it. I thought so. Okay, listen upon while I teach you the ropes. The fleet captain is in charge out in the water, but I tell him where to go. You got any requests, you talk to me. But you should listen to what they have to say about a region before sending them off. They know the sea's the best. Send a boat someplace close by and he'll be back in a day. Send one of the boys far away and he'll be gone longer. Once the boat's back, you just swing by and see me. I'll give you your share of the haul. The boat can only hold so much though, so you need to come unloaded before I set it out again. Also, here, we use tackle like this to give our boats a little help on the voyage. You can select tackle from the dispatch menu. I know you'll put it to good use. Oh, one other thing, the chief's son can use the fish from the hunting fleet's haul to generate resources for the village. So basically, the fishing boat, it's great for harvesting resources. Okay, Moga Coast, let's see what we got. Yep, we have Dark Waters and Moga Coast. So basically, you can get steel eggs, which are worth a good deal of money, but we can also get some fish. So yeah, we'll get the fish first. Yeah, we're not gonna do the... Yeah, we're not gonna just use that. Okay, so anyways, I just realized Our guy is pretty much basically an older, more grizzled version of Rusty Venture. Oh wait, I completely forgot, but you got another request. The head farmer wants to add a shroom box to the farm. You could use it to cultivate mushrooms. It's going to cost a few resources, but you'll be able to gather a lot more mushrooms. It's a great trade-off. I made a list of everything you need. I know you're busy hunting and all, but try to make some time for this. Okay, yep, we'll just give 80 points, and there you go. Okay, we can't do anything with that. They're just trying to force Cha-Cha on us. Okay. We'll upgrade our sword. Oh yeah, we need one more bone. One more bone. That is pretty much the motto of Monster Hunter. Just one more resource. One more resource. I could have sworn it was 3, but no worries. Yeah, we really don't need to upgrade anything right this moment. Hopefully we'll be able to hunt our first big monster. Or rather, our first noteworthy monster.
Wow, is it true you were attacked by the Locky, Chris? Show me the teeth marks! I can't believe you made it back! You're tough! Monster tough! Well, I'm sure luck played a part too. It still might be out there, so keep your eyes peeled. That said, I never imagined you'd tear through quests like this, and I'm a pretty good judge if I do say so myself. Anyways, let's get down to business. While you were out questing, I had a small chat with the guild. I complained! I was on the phone for 5 hours! That's right, 5 hours! And mind you, only 2 of them were spent complaining, the other 3 were listening to some horribly compressed song. It was this boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo song. Guess what I got for you? A brand new monster slaying request. This time it's a Ludroth. It's Ludroth. And you know what? And what you ask is a Ludroth according to my in-depth and kind of heavy guidebook. Ludroth, carnivorous monster that lives near water, prone to violence. Keepers, creepers. Well, it's been nice working with you. I mean, don't worry. This is a Moga Woods monster, so what do writers know? You'll be fine, probably. Just so you know, be careful, especially against enemies you don't know with sharp teeth. Now, off you go. Remember, prep time is everything.
No love for Ludroth. Slay 6 Ludroth. Once we complete this, we will be able to move on to other quests. So yeah, we'll basically do this quest, and then we'll move on to greener pastures. Or rather, better monsters.
Oh, so my good hunter, this time we have you on what we call an urgent quest. As you can guess, this must be done ASAP. Completing this quest is a big deal. It could go a long way in getting you recognized by the guild. Your target is an aquatic monster, the Ludroth. It might be just a bit stronger than what you're used to. Let me guess, you're ready to go. Of course you are. Just do your best, but don't let us down.
So anyways, while we're out, we might as well go and get another Monster Bone S. I think we'll get a Monster Bone S for doing this quest, but I just want to be on the safe side. We'll be able to hunt some Logia. So basically, the Ludroth will spawn in Area 9, or is this one of those special quests where basically only the Ludroth will appear? Because if not, regardless of how it is, we won't have to worry too much about basically just about Monster Bone S's, because basically they're relatively common items, all things considered. Yeah, the desire sensor can still mess you up with them. Okay, Jaggi hide. Come on. Come on, I just want to get a Monster Hunter Bone. I just need a Monster Bone S. In that case, we'll just go to Area 10. We'll hunt some more of those monsters, and we'll basically just get the bone. We just need 1 bone, so it's all good. could have sworn that they spawned in Area 9. But then again, usually monsters don't spawn until you get the... Monsters like them don't spawn until you get the cutscene. Which you get in Area 10. Yeah, they try to scare you with these Ludroths, but basically Ludroths are relatively basic monsters. Yeah, so you don't worry about them too much. Okay, so yeah, we're not going to encounter those guys quickly. I think we're actually going to get some monster bonus. We're going to get some monster bonuses just by doing this quest. Okay, one down. So anyways, the Ludroth are actually the first example of an amphibious monster. Yes, thank you! So yeah, a Ludroth may seem intimidating at first just because they can deal some decent damage while you're wearing your base 1 leather armor. But once we start getting some good armor, we start getting some good bonuses, start better weapons, things like that, it'll be a lot smoother. And also, don't forget that we're just dealing with standard yellow sharpness right now. Okay. Yeah, the Ludroth are probably going to be in Area 11. Quest info. Okay, so when you see stable, stable means that you're not going to be having any sort of unexpected big monsters just spawning in out of nowhere. Yeah, sure, that's really nothing in the modern day Monster Hunter games, because basically in modern Monster Hunter games, it's actually a good thing when there are multiple monsters in the same area, because they'll go at it, they'll fight each other, they'll weaken each other, you can mount, you can just basically have a easier time just dealing with them as a whole. Heck, in Monster Hunter Rise, you have monsters just entering the area while you're mid-fight. And then basically, they just leave. No questions asked. They just enter the area. Then they leave. It's like Tuxedo Man from Sailor Moon. He just appears and then just disappears. Okay. At this point, we are safe from damage. However, you can still see your oxygen meter lowering. And once it gets low, it starts to beep. Yeah, one thing to note is that you can actually still fight monsters in this state. So, take advantage of that minute and use it to grind up materials. Now, when it comes to the Monster Hunter games, don't let the start fool you, because at this point, it's pure tutorial mode. They're easing you in one baby step at a time. But once the training wheels are let off, you're pretty much you're soaring on your own. Yeah, in fact, the training wheels aren't taken off until around rank 3. Okay, we'll take that bone, that immature sponge. We'll take the hydro hides. Take that. Some raw meat. And save the game. And I forgot to adjust the volume settings! Okay, thankfully we don't... This was more or less just the intro episode. Yeah, so I'm sorry if the music is a little on the choir side. Okay, there we go.
Sakes alive, kid! They tell me you bagged yourself a Ludro. Not bad at all. In fact, you're doing so well, I felt inspired to try something new myself. Charms, I call them. You gain skill points by wearing one, same as with equipment. So you got a skill that's going to activate with a few more points. That's the time for charm. This one's a freebie, but you're gonna have to supply me with materials for more.
Yeah, unfortunately you can't forge talismans. You can form the charms, but not the talismans. Okay, so let's upgrade our sword. Bone Blade Plus. Now this next one, we are going to be aiming for the Jawbone. We're not going for the Ludroth Bone Sword. We're going for the Jaw Blade. Sure, the Jaw Blade may seem weaker, but for what we're aiming for, it's going to pay off more in the long run. Hey, Hunter, I hear you got a request to bag one of them big boys. Guess it's high time I taught you about the target cam. Basically, the target cam. Press the right trigger on the Wii U Pro controller, and you'll be able to lock onto monsters with the camera by pressing the L button. When you're in the same area as a large monster, the top right icon changes into a monster icon. Yet, unfortunately, this is only on the Wii U gamepad, so, well, it's not going to be visible to us. When you see the icon, press the L button to enter target mode. When you hit the L button lightly, the camera will pan to face the large monster. Handy, huh? When you want the camera back to where it belongs, facing your back, just tap the L button twice quickly, or just disable the target mode. The target cam's your best friend while hunting large quarry. Oh, and if you ever need to know more, just tap the help button and I'll help. Alright, you're here. Hey, I've got something to ask you. Are you making use of the farm? I've been talking to the head farmer, and he wants to build an insect box to raise bugs. You'll be able to gather insects for craft equipment right from the farm, if he makes one. Let's go take resources material. That's where you come in. Okay, so let's go. Okay, we're going to need monster fluid. This is going to be collected from, I believe, Vespoids, and maybe even Giggy. Vespoids would make more sense. First things first, let's go into the house. And let's view that talisman. Auto guard. And might as well equip. Yeah, basically just go into equipment. Skill that makes it possible to automatically block attacks when your weapon is drawn. Basically, automatically kicks in. If it's viable.
Meow, meow, meow. Welcome back, boss. It seems the Argosy has finally dropped anchor at Mocha Village again. It holds probably bulging with fancy furnishings. Do have a look. This place could use some more personality. Yeah. Meow, meow, meow.
Welcome back, kid. Bet you're wondering where all the skyline's gone. Behold the Argosy, our link to the outside world. The Argosy is a trade ship. You see, the commodities we find in Moga Woods fetch a pretty zenny abroad. As for the Argosy captain, he's a wealthy merchant from the Far East. I've known him longer than I care to admit. We were reckless youths together once upon a time. I've saved his life many times, and he mine. I'm sure he'd be willing to barter with you. If you have the commodities, the captain's your man. So, Hunter, are you looking for the captain of the Argosy? Ah, so, look no more. I am he, and he is I. Mayhaps you are wondering why man known as Giant of Far East would sail his trade ship to Itty Bitty Village. Ha! I am glad you asked. Moga Village famous for rare items, commodities, fetch big price overseas. You bring me these commodities, I offer trade goods from around the globe in Kukan. Kukan means exchange. Do you want an explanation of how trading works? No, I can explain it myself. Ah, so, very well. You figure out trading process yourself without my help. Not that hard. Here, Hunter, we make practice trade right now. Take this presento from me. Presento means present. Dewa, the sea breeze beckons. Dewa, what is your Yukon? How can I help you? Basically, select commodity. Select goods, and you can basically just barter. You can get basically the common goods, things that you can buy in the shops. Rare items. Now, these are the things that you want to that you'll really be interested for. Double barbecue split, which you can use to basically just get more items. A book of combos, basically. Books of combos. If you have them at your disposal, you have a greater success rate with different items. Boogie. Basically a lamp based on Foogies. Sandstone plant, vine shroom. Some basics. You need specific items for rare trades, though. Yeah, we'll cancel the request. Hello, Hunter. Yukakiti, you make good Naka with Neko yet? Nako means cat. My finest crewman, village chief asks Giant of the Far East, who is me, to trade with Port Tanzia. So I make Neko the Tanto. He is in charge. If you want to visit Tanzia, speak to Feline, and that smells like adventure. He take you to Tanzia because helping others. Important Shugo. Shugo means training. You make Shugo too, yes? Go forth. The sea breeze beckons. So Hunter, be quick. The Argosy. We sail soon, yes?
Oh, I am so sick of the stomach. Pardon meows while I burst today's lunch. Blech. Oh, these claws, these genos. It was not cut out for the ocean. L'ocean. My dream was to dream up the world's best recipes, not to regurgitate them. Ugh, pfui! Non! No more sea voyagers! A chef of my caliber belongs in a kitchen that holds still. Fortunately, your chef was kind enough to allow me to stay here. In return, I have agreed to offer my services. I perform the ultimate in culinary music. Partake of my dishes, you see, and gain health, attack, and more. Before I cook, you must select two things, the ingredients and the preparation methods. If your choices are not up to scratch, then the final result will be certain to lack a certain je ne sais quoi. Nevertheless, I employ a strict lick easy plate policy. You force me to make it, I force you to eat it. Oui, oui. Oh, and beware, the effects of my delicacies last only for one hunt. Once you return, they are gone. And laws, I shall get the canteen ready to serve the good people of Moga Village. Please be patient, Mjörk.
My eyes are starting to get dry. So basically, we now have a cook. Basically, the cook of very pivotal. You go into the quest with an increased health and stamina boost. You get special effects, and it's nice. Hunter, did you talk to the feline there? And so, Lieutenant Cook. He wandered many lands to learn the world's recipes, but he never managed to find sea legs. Learn recipe, last taste recipe, then barf, recipe up. Very tragic sword. It sounds like he takes a fancy to Moga cuisine, so he stays here for a while. Perhaps he stay forever. Your problem now. Worry not. I already received Village Chief Sanoff. Sanoff means blessing. You should visit Feline Cook's canteen. He once worked at First Rate City restaurant. Filled many bellies. Now he work here. Shows you the fall of Feline Cook. Here, take this voucher. It's from his old restaurant. Hand this over, and he treats you to finest fit for king. You not even have to worry about ingredients. Basically meaning that all items will be fresh, which in turn results for the maximum bonus to your stamina, maximum bonus to health, as well as basically just, or at the very least the stamina, plus an increased likelihood of just getting all the skills associated with the food.
Hey, Hunter, did you see? The Argosy is here. Well, how could you not see? It's freaking enormous! The Argosy is a trade ship. It's been a part of Moga Village life for as far back as I can remember. But I'll leave the storytelling to the chief. I've got important stuff to tell you about. For example, the new hunting ground! See, top-class hunters don't just poke around home. They hunt far and wide. You earn your stripes with that Ludroth quest, and now you've cleared to hunt in a brand new sparking location. It's called the Sandy Plains. Wondering what sort of place it is? Yeah, me too. According to my in-depth and kind of heavy guidebook, the Sandy Plains, a dry region known for its high temperatures and hordes of monsters. Yeah, well, good luck with that. Now, let's talk harvest tours. Not too long after the quest starts, a Paw Pass ticket will be added to your supplies. Deliver that whenever you want to head back. Until then, collect all the items you can. Got it? Have fun.
Basically, harvest quests are very good to explore locales. They differ from the Moga expeditions in that you have only a 50-minute time limit. You can't just stay there indefinitely. Not to mention, with the Moga expeditions, you can only explore Moga Woods. Basically. So if you want to go to another location like the Sandy Plains, the only way you can do it and just freely explore without worry is by doing the harvest tour. Harvest tours are very nice. They've been a staple of the series, and they are very good for when you want to learn the lay of the land for a new area. Or just, at the very least, just want to harvest some materials.
Also, on the home front, there's a quest on to Great Jaggi. The guild will definitely be watching that one.
You know what? We're going to hunt that Great Jaggi right now. We're going to do it. Basically, she's just telling us basics. Actually, we'll refund this. Yeah, if you have to cancel quests for any reason, you will get your money back. It's not like, oh, you pay the money and it's gone forever. Basically, as long as you don't go on the quest, you don't have to worry about losing your money. It's not like your quest giver is going to basically like,
too bad, it's mine now.
Okay, so let's actually take it. Okay. Pain in the Plains. Hunt a Great Jaggi. The Great Jaggi is your first introduction to big monsters. And this isn't going to take long to hunt, so we can easily knock it out in this stream. Welcome to the Sandy Plains. Now, normally when you go to the Sandy Plains, you're going to want to pack you're going to want to pack cool drinks. Because there are sections that are literal deserts. And while you can when you're in the desert, you will gradually lose health. Unless you drink a cool beverage.
Like my battle cry, I'm here to inspire you to have a great hunt. Did you work? Yeah! How about now? Your target this time is a Great Jaggi. This big fellow is much tougher than anything you've had to hunt before. They say that a Great Jaggi can boss around Jaggi, organizing them to attack you in a pack. Isn't Mother Nature wild? Great Jaggi are also smart enough to run away when they're in trouble. Starting to miss that fishing quest, aren't you? But don't despair. You should find the paintball there in the supply box. It is one handy item. Supply a monster with it, and you'll be able to track the beast on the map. Paintballs are perfect for wussy monsters who try to flee. Let them. You'll see where they roam. You'll be able to follow them, kill them in their sleep. Okay, let's start this quest off right. With a battle cry together, 1, 2, 3, blah!
So basically, the Great Jaggi is the first large monster. Monsters like this, they will let out a scream, and damn it, I didn't want to pick up a bye hole. Okay, let's just get rid of that empty file. I'm not using files. Anyways, tinged meat. If a monster eats it, they will become paralyzed. We're gonna take this because hey, we could use it. We'll be using it later on. And an easy flash bomb. Basically, flash bombs stun monsters, make it where they move much more erratically. We're not gonna use this because it's not all that needed for a Great Jaggi. Basically, for the Great Jaggi, it's going to be spawning in Area 8. So anyways, in regards to Jaggis, they operate very much like lions, in that basically you're going to, in which Jaggis are led by one dominant Jaggi, basically. Meanwhile, you got the Jaggia, which are the females, and then you get the little Jaggis, which basically are the lesser males. Okay, I went to the wrong area. I really went to the wrong area. Okay, so anyways, let's just get going over here. Now, while the game does try to pump up the Great Jaggi, it's not that bad a monster to deal with. It's very much on the weaker side, even with starting gear. So if you ever want to try out a new weapon, basically, or a new armor strategy... Okay, no, it's Area 9. Basically, it's the secluded area. Okay, there we go. Or, there we don't go. Or maybe it's Area 6 that I'm thinking of. Or maybe even Area 5. Okay, no, it's Area 6. It's Area 5 that I'm thinking of. There we go. Okay, so anyways, let's lock on. I said lock on. 1, 2, 3. And boom! Okay, let's move out. And no harm in taking a little damage. Now, one thing about the Great Jaggi and other monsters like it, it will not get toppled. It will not be. You cannot topple it. One, two. Okay, that's good. Yeah, basically it'll just plop down on the ground like that, and then it'll just run off. Anyways, I think this one's actually a little on the larger side. And watch how you get gold crown Great Jaggi right away. So basically, I'll explain monster size once we actually kill this thing. Anyways, we were going to want to try to hit the head of this thing. Okay, anyways, as you saw, we just broke its crest. Anyways, this game does not care about hitbox, does not care about iframes. Yeah, you will have some iframes, but basically it is very short-lived. Okay, as you can see, that thing is limping off now. So anyways, a wyvern tier. That thing will basically is a resource item. Okay, so anyways, it's not going to be in Area 8. Typically the rest area is somewhere along the lines of, say, Area 7. But yeah, as you can see, we're almost done with this quest. Once you see a monster limping, that is a surefire sign that you are pretty much done. Yeah, Area 11 is a big rest area. Yeah, thankfully the monster doesn't go too far. The Jaggi is an exception to the sword rule because it can take shortcuts. Yeah, I should have paintballed that thing, because I kind of forgot where the Great Jaggi's rest area is. Okay, it's not out there. Okay, where are you? Okay, yeah, this is a purely transitional area. Yeah, the fun part about this game is that once you figure out just how the monsters go, they move around. And there he is. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because if we could have hit that guy while he was asleep, that would have been a really good thing. We would have done double damage, and we would have had a very clean opportunity to hit him in the head with our great sword. Okay, at least we got a good hit in. I'm not going to have my first cart be to a Great Jaggi. That is where I draw lines. One. Okay. Yeah, nothing like being in a Monster Hunter game and getting booted into another area. But hey, use that to your advantage. You get booted, so be it. As you can see, we're going to need some better armor. Okay, there we go. we are. Anyways, once that happens, hit the start button. That way you can immediately get into carving. Yeah, if you let the full cutscene play out, you'll lose several seconds, which can be a bit disadvantageous, especially with larger monsters that have multiple carves. Seriously, there are some monsters out there where if you don't skip their cutscene, you will miss out on carves. Yeah, anyways, that hunt could have gone a little bit better for us. But here's the thing. We do not have optimal armor skills. We don't have really much going for us right now. Plus, the Great Jaggi is one of those awkward small monsters that can also have you get swarmed with a bunch of little guys. Yeah, once we start hunting bigger creatures, it'll really start to come into play. Okay, we'll get all those materials. Okay, that wasn't a large Jaggi. Basically, when you kill a monster, there are two different crown sizes that you can get. Silver crown, which is basically littlest monster, and a gold crown, which is basically massive monster. And believe it or not, size actually does have a big element on just how powerful a monster can be. With basically a bigger variant of monster having a bigger hitbox, easier hit, but they can also hit you a lot easier. Likewise, smaller monster, while it's a little harder to hit them, it's a little harder for them to hit you. So it's a trade-off. I know you went through a lot of trouble to take down that Great Jaggi, but now that we've had sightings of more Great Jaggi in the woods, the beast that fled from the earthquake must be coming back. I know those woods better than anybody. Don't forget to check the Moga forecast before you leave the village. Yeah, so now, basically, you have the chance of running into a Great Jaggi in the woods if the forecast tells it. Hey there, Hunter, thanks for coming. I've got a request for you. I ran to the head farmer, and that shrewd of an old coot says he wants to restore the fields to pre-earthquake conditions. I mean, it's everything we need. Try to fill this between your regularly scheduled hunting. Dung and super dung.
Mon Dieu, the beast, she is doing perfectly splendid, and all thanks to your patronage, yeah. For this, I shall offer higher grade ingredients to my customers. This is quite the bargain. If you use high-level ingredients, the dishes increase your health even more. It's Gaston Joy de Vivre.
Yeah, we're not going to do this. Not now.
Welcome back, Hunter, dearest. Great job with the Great Jaggi. Fierce strikes, quick dodges, flawless judgment. The sparks were pretty flying. We're really flying out there. Well, just guessing. I certainly don't see it. Anyways, break time's over. There's hunting to do. Top-class hunters face a steady stream of impossible tasks. For instance, only a tippy-top-of-the-line hunter would try to bag a live Ozoros, right? Well, looky here, I got the exact job. That silly guild breaking arts and breaking hunters. Yes, I can see in your eyes. How am I supposed to capture a giant monster that's all teeth and attitude? Well, according to my in-depth and kind of heavy guidebook, all the pages and no helpful info at all. Well, no surprise there. See when you take a good look. 90% of the pages are blank. Oh, my mistake. This is just a regular old notebook. From now on, I'll write any useful info I get. The hard work of today will become the wisdom of tomorrow. Go ask Mr. Walking Dictionary Chief for some tips.
Basically, Bear Trap. This is basically our first capture quest, and you have to do it. Basically, we'll go into that later, but capture quests are not exactly the most pleasant of things in this game. But anyways, on that note, I think that now would be a good time to end things off. I really appreciate that you came by to watch the stream. It was great having you. I hope to see you next time. If you like the stream, consider following. My outro is off. Anyways, if I really appreciate that you came by to watch the stream. It was great having you. Hope to see you next time. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this video. You're a great viewer, and hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share. If you're watching this on YouTube, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do as they want. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye.